Okay, I'm doing this live because I was inspired by a conversation this morning, and I should warn you if I have a moment I go silent, it's because I went on mute because I got this ravenous chest cold. Every time we go from fall to winter, I get a chest cold. Even when we go from winter to spring, I get a chest cold. My body doesn't like change of weather, really. One second. So anyhow, was thinking about good morning. Was thinking about some of the conversations, and so few people have answers um, when it comes to marriage and relationships. And why does that topic come up so much? Because being in or out of relationship, married or otherwise, it changes your daily life. It's in your face. It's not something either way that you get away from. It's present, you know. You're participating as a single, married, or dating person in a relationship. That is like the essence of the foundation of your daily life. It just is. You're affected in all ways by oh, looks like my phone is switching. Let me switch earplugs real quick. Let me try it anyway. Okay, I switched earplugs. I hope that works. Looks like it switched over for me. Um, but yeah, your daily life is dominated by your status, your relationship status. We'll call it that. And so one of the things I was thinking about is like, people don't have solutions. People have all kind of complaints and assumptions and things like that, but where are the solutions at? So one of the things I was thinking as far as a solution is concerned, which is kind of what I see commonplace, is that you have to have a rigorous, uh, expansive social life to get the best options to get married. Um, and the reason why I'll say that is because a lot of the stuff that I hear single people complain about, you can't cold approach people. And I'm not saying like I'm some kind of dating expert. That's not what I'm saying. I'm promoting the idea that most of the people who I know got married because of proximity. They met people in their social circle. That's my point. And so when you have an expansive social circle, then you eliminate a lot of the things that frustrate people who are trying to meet somebody. So this is not really about dating. It's like, how do you get closer to marriage? That's kind of what I'm talking about. How does one get closer to marriage? I don't know anything about dating, honestly. I've never been someone who dated, so I don't know about that. I've dated in relationship while we're in a relationship. But like, meeting like these random people here and there, somebody walk up, hey girl, what's your phone number? Nah. Not I have not had those experiences. Um, I've dated in not dated, but I've met people in proximity. And I've had somebody approach me who was in my social circle and they ended up turning into a friend because that wasn't somebody who was, for me. On paper, they look good, but yeah, that's not we're not a good match. So there's some risks. I have to say that when you have social circles, you have some risk because you can run into situations that become, hey, what's up, V Dub? What's up? Good morning. You can almost, if you're not careful, you can almost create a incestuous pile of people within your social circle. So you have to choose wisely. So I'll just go to the beginning. So let me just say this. Having a social circle, what does that mean? That means you're a person who networks. That means you have friends, you have associates, you have colleagues, and there's careful. You have to be careful with all of that because you don't want to, when I say colleagues, I don't mean people who you work with every single day. But some of the people you work with We'll invite you to Christmas parties. We'll invite you to, networking events and stuff like that. So when you get invited to other people's circles who might be colleagues of yours, and these circles, like, they they sometimes can overlap. So that's why I think you have to be careful how things turn out, because a lot of times, if that doesn't work out for you, now you have people who know at least a connection to your more personal private life. You may not want, say for example, if you are a doctor and you go to a Christmas party and you meet another colleague of yours as a doctor, and you meet somebody in their circle and y'all date and it doesn't work out, and not even work out, but it could just be now you got another pair of eyeballs at work that see what you do. You see what I'm saying? So when you overlap those circles, you better make sure it's worth it. Because, for example, if you had, if you were a woman and you get flowers, and then your colleague is seeing you get flowers, there's part of them that's wondering, oh, is that the person that I introduced them to, or they met through my network? It can become personal. So I think you have to be careful. So maybe, you might want to be two circles removed from your colleagues. You know what I mean? Network and then network a network or something like that. Because sometimes if it's too close to home, it can get messy. And I had somebody in my social circle that became incestuous. I ain't gonna lie. And I had to kind of remove him and stop inviting him because he was going through several of my friends. It's almost like he was using my social network for his whole dating pool, and he was creating messiness. You should not walk into an event, a home party, and you didn't have sex with three women there in the same room. That's not okay. So you have to keep, hounds and dogs out your social circle too, and you have to remove them when necessary. So going back to the social networking circles, you got to network with your colleagues. If you have customers, clients, I get invited to a lot of stuff just because of clients, and customers. Um, you got people you went to school with, people you go to church with. Um, you have different organizations you belong to, professional organizations. You have all kind, hobby groups. There's so many different places that you meet people. If you volunteer, you know, there's a lot of things. And that's why I think it's really important to have a well-rounded life. If you have a well-rounded life, then you will have these different pockets of people. Notice I said different pockets of people, because you can't like have all your people do all the same things all the time. Like concentrate all your activities within a small set of group of people. You have to kind of have separate places, separate circles, separate networks, and keep them separate. And some can cross over when it's appropriate. So that changes the landscape for single people or people who are looking to be in a quality relationship. How many different social spaces do you have? And I know some people say, oh, I don't fuck with people I work with. I respect that because work can get messy when you got people who know too much of your business, right? But the more social circles you have, the more places you have to meet nice people, quality people. And I personally think that like meeting people within your social network is really an important thing to do because it filters out the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It filters out people who got a lot of problems. If you see people that are not productive, or people who are looking for somebody to use, or or just a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff. When you have a social network, what you're going to end up doing is likely finding people you have more in common with. You already have commonalities. You have common like-mindedness. You're probably going to be the same social class or close to it. You're going to have a lot of compatibility, a lot of same culture. You eliminate, hey, what's up? What's up, Gabe? Good morning. So I'm talking about these, having social networks. And even within work, you create new connections and social network. If you have to go to a workshop, if you have to go to a convention, when you're out doing business, you are constantly adding people to your social networks. You're connecting. And when they have events, they invite you. And then you meet new people. So if you have all these social groups and these different networks of people, you have expanded yourself, and you've expanded yourself within people. I guess you would say a framework that's already carefully filtered. Notice that, carefully filtered. It's carefully filtered. You filtered out a whole lot of bullshit already, right? Now, which kind of circle you want to focus on in terms of, I think it's going to be organic at that point. It's going to be organic. You'll meet people in these spaces and you will be attracted or you're not. But as far as marriage is concerned and meeting somebody for a serious relationship, you filter out a lot of bullshit. I mean, like I said, I ain't never been to the dating scene. Now I have been approached, of course, when I was socializing in my 20s and 30s, constantly approached. But I've always been in a relationship. So I don't know what, the game is like too much, what men say, what they, other than TV and shit, but in real experience, I don't have a lot because they never get too far with me. I'll be in a bar, and that's the misnomer. People think, oh, you don't go to a bar, you don't hang out, you don't go to the club because you're married. Bullshit. Bullshit. My husband be over there somewhere dancing. He be over there somewhere getting a drink. We didn't walk around holding hands at the club is my point. So there was times, of course, where I would be by myself and with my friends or a co-ed group, and don't nobody, strangers don't know. They'll walk up and introduce themselves and, say a few things. And then I just kind of lean in. Oh, thanks, but I'm married. Not to embarrass the person. I'll be like, you forgot to ask me something. Oh, you must be married. Yeah, yeah, easy, don't make a big deal out of it. Yeah, you know, I know it takes a lot of courage for people to approach folks. So I've never been one of them people to, try to dangle a carrot and make somebody feel small, like, oh, I'm a woman. And you tried to approach me. Let me show out. No, none of that. I always just say humbly, oh, I appreciate it, but I'm married. So anyway, I never got to see the game, like how it all plays out. Um, what's the first thing said, then the next thing that I don't have a clue. But what I can say is everything is organic. And I was listening to somebody this morning, and what he was saying, he would say, I was like, really? That's what you would say? I don't know. Because me, I don't know. As a woman, if I'm already in my social network, I can just socialize. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that awkward moment of I got 10 seconds to say something. And I think that's part of it. There's like men and women are both in a situation where you're passing strangers and you don't owe them anything and they don't owe you anything. You're at a disadvantage. When you're in a social circle and you're in your network, you can always strike up a conversation about what you have in common. Well, how do you know so and so? That's my frat brothers from back in the day. And you could just start talking. And it's easy and natural. Oh, y'all are cousins. What? Oh, so you from Nebraska too. You know, social networks make shit easy. That's what I'm trying to say. You have commonalities already, and you can just organically talk about those commonalities. And you can just be a nice person and go up and be like, so who you know here? Oh yeah, I know so and so, I know so and so. Oh wow. Well, y'all must work together. I don't have no game. I'm just telling you that's just organic conversation. I've networked a lot. I have to, especially in business. And I did a lot of leadership when I was teaching. So I had to definitely, know how to approach people who are strangers to me. You got a whole room of people to teach and adults. And when you walk into the room, you have to kind of command the room, know who's important, who's in charge, who to go to, who's your. support system instantly when you walk in. Oh, you're so and so. So okay, so I can get this from you and that from you. Thank you. Okay, you're gonna be helping me and supporting. Thank you. You know, you don't have long. You don't have long. You got to make connections quick. And so I think game is over. Honestly, I think game is over. I think that people don't like to feel like things are rehearsed and they're unnatural, particularly women. Women don't have to talk. That's the attitude a lot of women have. We don't have to talk to you. We don't owe you anything. So I think it has to be authentic connection. And so I go back to the idea of social networks. If you have social networks and social circles of a large variety, got church, there's people at your church who will invite you, and everything is not going to happen at ground like zero. You may have someone at church you're in the youth ministry with, and then that youth ministry, they have events, and you get invited to this type of, it could be a private or another nonprofit. Now you have access to more people. So it's the branching off of your social networks gets you more people, gets you more options. And so that's what I'm saying. The more you socialize and the more you do in the community, the more opportunity you have to meet a plethora of quality people who are already filtered out. That's my point. And so when you have people who, talk about, oh, there's nobody good out here, there's no so and so out here, then they only got two options as far as trying to find somebody who's marriage minded. They got two options. They can go out here to clubs, bars, and in the mall and run up on people they never met before. That's an option. And then the only other option is to get on the internet and think that they gonna talk to people who are avatars and catfishes and all kind of random shit. And you take a lot of risk in dating apps, meeting strangers online. So you got two options: walk up on strangers or go online and meet strangers. Those are your two options. They're not good. They're not good options, in my opinion. They are not good options. We already know all the risk you run on the internet. Motherfuckers be crazy. They don't be what they say they are. Whereas when you're dealing with social networks, you can vet a motherfucker. Yes, you can. They can't sit there and lie and be like, yeah, yeah, I'm a six-figure nigga, right? Because you can look at the clothes, you can look at the car, you can look at who they talk to, you can look at how they behave, you can look at everything. Same thing for a woman. She can't gaslight you in person and tell you she's a fitness queen and she's sitting up there 350 pounds squares into a dress in person. You see what I'm saying? It cuts out a lot of the bullshit, the catfishing, the fakery, all that shit. And when you have people in common, you have the same network. Guess what, baby? Everything about you can be cross referenced. You say you a doctor, huh? Or you said you're a lawyer? Okay. You don't want to lie in social networks now. You don't want to do that because you'll become a clown. People gonna find out. They're gonna find out you're a liar. So people don't tend to lie about things that matter in social networking, right? So if I say to somebody, "Oh yeah, I'm a practicing lawyer," that conversation is not hard to follow up with the friend because you got commonalities. You got either colleagues or you have friends that know the truth of who that person is. Oh yeah, I met Lynn. She said she's a lawyer. So tell me more about Lynn. Oh yeah, she's got, J and L law firm down on Peachtree Street. Say what? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, and you'll find out more. Yeah, she just got divorced last year. Okay, note taken. Good to know that. You got stuff people not gonna tell you about themselves. But if you have a solid network of people, a lot of shit is filtered out and you can vet a person. So you can say to yourself, well, Liz sure was nice and I like her career. That means she's self-made. She got her own money. You know, she's been at it for a while. Ain't gonna have to clean the bitch up, or nothing like that. But damn, Lynn just got a divorce. That means she probably dealing with, some baggage and some transitions. And you got to walk lightly with Lynn. She might have emotional shit and stuff going on still with her ex-husband. It's stuff like that you can learn from social networks. You can vet people. You can find out more about them, the stuff that matters. People ain't gonna tell you all their business, of course, but the basics can be vetted. You don't have to worry about a whole bunch of, blatant lying on Front Street day one. You can cross reference and check a lot of the stuff that people say. And you can do a lot of that on your own, but at least you have the backup. You know, you can ask a couple people, especially if multiple people know each other. Yeah, I saw her. She seems like a nice lady. Do you know if she's single? I mean, that's how my social networks have worked. I've seen people couple up who never met each other because of social networking. you know. And then that's how you get co-ed groups of friends that socialize. Because this person, they're dating to marry this one, and this one's dating to marry that one. And now, you get couples groups. So I for the most part, during my 20s and 30s, I had a co-ed group, mostly couples in it, but some single people, and we all networked and have done business together and everything. You know, I hate to use this movie, but Love Jones, it was kind of like that. It was pretty cool. It was very much like that. We would meet up at Apache Cafe, and man, we hung out on Peter Street downtown and Edgewood Avenue. Had a lot of cool cafes. Circa. That's where I had my bridesmaid, not bridesmaid, my bachelorette party at Cafe Circa. It's a rooftop spot down on Edgewood, and so many other places. And so we just meet up all the time. And then we would bring other people. Oh, yeah, this is my friend from Alabama State. Oh, that's my frat brother. And people keep bringing people. Every time you go and socialize, we're going to meet up at the bar. They bring new people in. We go into this after party, meet more people. I'm telling you, man, you meet so many people. And I think that's why I have such a hard time when I come online listening to these people talk about how there's nobody out here and it's so difficult and nobody's no good and this and that. I'm like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I chose my husband. But when I tell you in the network that I have, at that age I was at, I had a whole bunch of options of black men. When people be telling me, ain't no good black man, I got this one particular brother from Morehouse. He has a limo service. He was on it as soon as he got out of graduate school. I got another brother, PhD. I actually dated him for a short period of time, but we were intellectually connected. But outside of that, I was not sexually attracted to him at all. At all. Big, tall ass dude. He's like 6'7", and looking up like, mm-mm. Just no. Just that tall shit. I could not. No, I felt like a midget, and maybe I'm a little. What's the word? It's not only that he was corny. Okay, smart but corny, and I'm attracted to very intelligent men more than anything. Very intelligent. Anyway, let me read these comments. I agree to a point. Is very vocal. I'm very vocal and not scared to approach anybody. What's up, young Riaz? Exactly, May. They thought I was crazy for meeting and vetting my wife through a young adult social group. Fuck no, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way. I wouldn't recommend anything other than that because you get to filter out how you meet people, that they meet certain standards and quality. Just walking up on these strangers, man, I wouldn't dare. Now, I'm not saying nobody should meet strangers. I'm not saying that. But you run a lot of risk, you know. It's a lot of filters that are not in place. Same here when you're socially connected and have a lot going on for yourself. You have options. Yeah, man, I know it, Gabe. Tons of options. I ain't never for a second thought, oh, it's not enough black men. How am I finally educated? But man, I had so many just in Atlanta socializing. I mean, I ain't gonna say in the streets because I wasn't being bad, but you get invited to this, the the and when you like I said, you network. I'm a teacher, but I end up meeting people in the music industry. I end up meeting people in law. You get invited, you get invitations. I do political work, so I get invited to the NAACP. I go to some of these local um, Democratic Party things, and then those people that you meet, they invite you to stuff. They invite you to fundraisers and nonprofits and all kinds of shit, campaigns. When you are an active person in your community, you don't have any problems. Just fuck all of dating, but meeting new people, adding new people to your list of those who you know. You don't have any problem. Be politically engaged. Get out here and be social. Get out here and be adventurous. Go out here and be fun. You know, business. You got the Chamber of Commerce. You meet people. I've put some of my videos up when I go to business networking that's established as a monthly basis by the government. Y'all know that the government has business. What do you call it? Business networking, Chamber of Commerce. They got that on the state level. They've got that on the local level. Almost every city has a business networking or something. I've even gone to like conventions for franchising. I was interested in franchising. So I went out to Cobb Galleria and I just walked around to see. I don't necessarily know what it is. That's why I go to find out. And I said, what is franchising? What kind of companies do franchising? And all those people want to hand you their card. Those are all new networks, new people. I want to invite you out to a demo. They had somebody trying to sell tiny houses. At the time, I thought it was kind of crazy. But now I'm seeing it's a trend. You know, do volunteerism. Those are things. And so when you hear people complaining and crying about how they don't know nobody, ain't met nobody, you're not out here in the community. And I don't mean community like community, black people standing around ciphering. I don't mean that. I mean you're not part of the business networks. Let's stop saying community. You're not in networks. Let me just say that. Fuck community. You're not in networks. You're not in business networks. You don't belong to any fraternities, any orders, sororities. You don't belong to any churches, any faith-based organizations. You don't volunteer for shit. You're not in any sports. Think about that. When you got kids, you go to, I'm not, well, I guess you wouldn't have kids before marriage, but but when you are even doing stuff like bringing your children into certain stuff, right? You're going to meet people. I'm just saying. Even afterwards, you're constantly meeting people. Your children make bridges for you. Your kid want to be in Girl Scouts. They want to be in football. They want to be in whatever. You know, it's out here. It's out here. And if you have hobbies, that's even more of a network. Let me read. Same here. I had three different occupations for women I wanted to marry: nurse, teacher, therapist, and social worker. What? You had, okay, that's interesting. You had a preference. Interesting. Let me look at that. Nurse, teacher, or therapist. Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. I'd be curious, Gabe, to know how or what is it about those professions. I can see they all have caregiving in there, and they're all female dominated. That's interesting. I would like to know. Um, I got along best with women. Oh, I see it now. I read the next slide. You said I got along best with women in those occupations. Yeah, yeah. But that filtering is so necessary. But you can't filter if ain't nobody there to be filtered. So that's why it's important to have lots of connections, lots of network, to be out in the world. You got all kinds of networking to do. And if you got a job, or a career, I'm careful about that. I always had to be because as a teacher, I never wanted people to know too much of my business. And that's because, you know, teachers, there's so many women, they tend to gossip and they talk too fucking much. So I wanted them to know very little about my personal life. So I chose not to really network. I had a couple of about three maybe teacher friends over my 16, 17-year career that I trusted and I became personal with. But they were just like me. They were like, don't tell none of my business to none of these motherfuckers. But yeah, you go to conventions and you travel and stuff like that. Having a fucking hobby, you meet new people. And so that's one of the things I wanted to mention too. Um, Between faith, people you went to college with, your alma mater, being involved with the college you came from, that matters too. They have alumni chapters, and at your school based on, where you graduated from. Go back and network in there, network within the people you graduated from college. I don't understand. No, I do understand. What I understand is on people who act like they can't find anybody, there's nobody good out here, you didn't do the things you should have done at different stages of your life. You can't be isolated, you know? Hey, what's up? What's up, Woo? Okay. He said, that's a step towards proper vetting, Gabe. Good stuff. Yeah, Ambassador. I saw you last night on BGS channel. Y'all was giving that man hell. Why'd y'all get that man hell? Why'd y'all get that man hell? What's up, Woo? Good morning. Y'all was giving Poe BGS hell last night. Who was that? I don't know who that was that got up there and said some shit. I be cloud watching. They said some shit about it was generation, them boomers. Y'all fucked it up for us millennials. Y'all got BGS so mad he said he got to get a drink. Y'all drove him to drink last night. And you had a couple of things you said. I don't think you were trying to be like, give him a hard time. But they gotta admit, the boomers gotta admit that they're the ones right now, if you look at it, they the ones fucking up the world. They are. If you look at everybody who's in power and they do not want to release the power. Once you get 50, go sit your ass down. I'm not talking about BGS. I'm talking about that generation. Them motherfuckers, they don't want to let go of power and influence. Look at Trump. Motherfucker, go sit down. Look at Nancy Pelosi. Go sit down. You should have been let AOC take over this shit. I ain't getting into politics. I'm just saying, these old motherfuckers, they want to hang out till they die. Okay? And when you hang out till you die, you don't give the young people, the millennials, and it's their turn. You call it up next, they're up next. Let these motherfuckers that's 25 and 30 run shit. They're up next. If you don't want to leave until you die, I mean, you wait 85, 95, then that's a whole two generations of leaders that came and went because your ass didn't want to go sit down. Anyway, you said I got along best with women. Caregivers, female dominated, children focused, thoughtful, and overall amplifies female traits. Ashe. I agree. I agree with that. I can see that. Yeah, all those women absolutely have those traits. Women who are in the medical field, my heart goes out to women, particularly women in the medical field, because in my lifetime with all my different family members and stuff, I have seen nurses show up for people in ways that their own fucking family do not show up for them. You know, Nurses and people in medical are very, very giving people. They give and give and give. It's impressive. It's impressive. But that's what I'm saying, the networking. So when I see people say, "Oh, there's no good men out here. There's no good women out here." You just have not done what you're supposed to do. That's all. These people think that they're going to go sit in their house and do nothing. Don't you go to concerts? Don't you go to games? Don't you go to like sports? Like, don't you like, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand why these people living their lives in insulation. I'm sorry, not insulation, isolation. Why are you living your life in isolation? That's a very big mistake. If you start off as a young person being isolated and you don't want to network and you don't want to meet people and you don't want to socialize and you don't want to connect, What makes you think you have the social skills? Let's look, message. What makes you think you have the social skills to be able to carry on a full-time relationship and marriage? You don't have, you see what I'm saying? Because when you're networking and socializing, you're learning too. We're not born knowing how to talk to people, how to get along, how to navigate, you know, unexpected things. It's through socializing that you hone your skills. Because when you're meeting people, you have to make connections to people. People don't owe you shit. They don't owe to talk to you. They don't have to call you again. They don't have to hang out with you. There's a give and a take. There's a dance to socializing. And in your relationship, you have to be able to socialize. People forget that. Oh, I just got a wife. No, I just got a husband. No. That person needs to socialize with you. They need to talk to your ass. They need to like your ass. They gotta want to be around you and do shit with you. They gotta want to cooperate. People forget that. They just want to put a label on something. These are human beings. Are you building me up? How do you make people feel when you come around them? These are all social skills. Are you somebody people be like, oh yeah, this motherfucker come? People gotta hone their social skills. Let me go to the comments. He said that wasn't my intent. I was simply saying if BGS was the majority of elders, he wouldn't be hearing what he is hearing. I just don't like people stressing out good teachers. It bothers me. No, I don't think he was trying to stress him out. I don't think he was trying to stress him out. I think that there is some guilt that boomers carry. There's some guilt. Um, the comment that triggered this was somebody in the chat said that older people had it easier than the millennials. Everybody knows the millennials, for the most part, have a lot of them, almost half of them, I think, have been unable to move out to get their career started. Um, a lot of millennials, about half of them have struggled. They're not getting married, not having kids. They're kind of different, millennials. I'm on the cusp of Generation X and millennial. I'm a kind of a combination of both. But I can say for the most part, Generation X, in my opinion, has been absolutely functional for the most part. We got out, got careers, we did what we're gonna do. We have lived out the adulthood we're supposed to. Now, of course, you got groups and then in that who were fucked up and who they wasn't gonna be shit anyway. But I'm saying for the most part, Generation X had been functional. But unfortunately, we have given birth to Generation uh, Z, I think, because I don't think millennials are closer to us than them, like peers, I guess. We've given birth to Generation Z, and there's some monsters. Okay, Generation Z, there's some, yeah, they I won't say they monsters. They're very much like millennials. Millennials, you either all the way win it or you a fucking loser. That's the first generation I've seen like that. Like half and half. You either winning if you a millennial, or your ass ain't never growed up and you never will. 50-50. And I think Gen Z, they have like 1/4 that's gonna be winning, and then the other 3/4 motherfuckers lost. And I don't know what the fuck my daughter's generation. I guess that's A. I don't know what the fuck gonna happen with them. That's just my thoughts. But I think the boomers, they did have it easy, despite what BGS says. They had it easy because there was order and you could follow the order and there was a pattern and you could follow the pattern. And there was a formula for success. And it wasn't that fucking hard under their generation. I think the same thing is true for Generation X. Now we're running into something at our age, at this age, where we're saying, what the fuck? The pattern that the boomers taught us, the pattern that we came under, that shit is, we're panicking. Like, I'm fucking bothered by AI and all this new shit. And Gabe talked about it. You just got to be able to see what the market's doing. That shit sounds crazy to me. Because in my mind, you're supposed to get in your career, stay in your career, and your career is supposed to feed you because you invested in your career. It ain't like that no more. The boomers did have it easy. I don't care what BGS said. They just didn't follow the fucking formula in their generation if they didn't get what they were supposed to get, and that's the truth. Okay, let me go to the next comment. My mother is a nurse, and my wife is too. They show up for family and me in the best ways possible. Hell yeah. Them nurses are good people. Good morning. Hey, Mahogany. Good. She said good teacher. Oh Lord, I gotta catch up. Um, what has BGS taught? What is BGS taught? BGS has taught uh uh he taught a lot of historical facts and introduced a lot of books. Um, yeah, those that's what I can think. Yeah. He said I'm mid millennial, and most people mistake me for an X. Yeah, I thought you was an X too, Gabe. I thought you was an X. My peers are struggling hard out here. Yeah, yeah. Millennials, it looks to me 50-50. It looks to me 50-50. Um, they either gonna be doing really, really well or they not doing well. And when I say not doing well, I mean they in the basement. I don't want to tell nobody's business. But somebody in my neighborhood, they daughter that moved home, and she done brought her 3 children with her. And I'm just like, how in the hell? And so for some people who got a lot of kids, they're finding a lot of their kids is coming back who is millennials. I don't know if that makes sense. So say you got 6 children you gave birth to as a family, and then like 2 of them coming home. That's fucked up. That's fucked up because they coming home with all that baggage. They coming home with children's. They done lost their job, got laid off. You know, millennials, man, they catching hell. My brother's a millennial, and I saw him struggle. Now, my brother's a winning millennial to a certain extent. You know, my brother got his bachelor's degree, and he got his MBA. But I wasn't personally impressed because it took him so goddamn long. I was like, bam, bam, bam. You know, get through it, fight, fight, fight. They just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna get my MBA. I'll wait for 2, 3 years between my bachelor. Wait, what the fuck? You know, they had a lot of waiting, you know. And then when they got to their careers, it was a flooded market because all the X's, Generation X, they don't want to fucking let go. You know, I can say that Generation X was competing for Generation Millennials jobs. Now that's our fault. We had Gen X competing for millennial jobs, and Gen X is in it to win it. Gen X don't want to make room for Gen millennials. They don't. You know, that's the truth. And I had boomers that was giving me a hard time. I think it's a generational thing. When I came on my career, I'm walking in the door. I'm like, hey, I'm Gen Z. I mean, I'm Gen X. And them bitches was like, we're boomers, bitch, sit down, you don't know nothing. I had a lot of that. The older generation seems to always think, whatever generation is before you, they always think you don't know shit and you dumb. You know, and that's unfortunate. And everybody got victim stories, right? That's funny. Anyhow, let me see. He said, I'm mid millennial, yeah. Um, and he said BGS knows how to gain the trust of the trenches. He doesn't teach either. He pairs more successful and thoughtful men. I do think that I hate to get on BGS, but I do think that's a flaw that he has. Because at some point, as a teacher, you need to be able to embody that. But he's not any different. I'm not making excuses than most of these people. I talked about Shay Sade, you know. I talk about a lot of these motherfucking pick me's. Like trust, you know. She's a perfect example. You sit around and you pretend that you know men and what men want, you know, and you do all of that tap dance and shit. Where's your results? At the end of the day, I don't care what comes out of your mouth. I'm standing strong on that bullshit. You have to have results. You can talk to you blue in the face. You can call yourself whatever title you want to call yourself. At the end of the day, where's your results? Where the fuck are your results? And so I personally don't get, that's where I guess I get my trolling from. Because when I see a gap between results and what people say, that's where I go in. That's where I go in. Especially people who are very loud and bodacious about their claims. That's what keeps my troll going. The contradictory elements that exist when you are in conflict with yourself. You say one thing and you do another. It gives me the desire to give you my attention. I'm gonna go back to trust again. How in the hell do you spend 10 hours a day up in all these men's faces? Just check this out. Toya, how the fuck do you spend all your time in all these men's faces? You do all this thirst trapping videos with filters and stuff. I said last night, I don't know, two people, their streams fed to my stream, Toya doing a live talking about some dumb shit. I don't know, it was gaming or something. And she got three niggas sitting up on the panel on a Saturday night. Now get, man, come on. How the fuck are you, Miss I lost weight for men? I cater and pander to men. I'm silent and always present because I have to support men. And then you sit on a Saturday night with three strangers on the internet. I don't understand. Where are the results? Why don't these men who claim they don't see no good black women and you in their face all the time? They ignoring you, girl. What's up? I always said, I'll say it again. Pick me's get passed around and they end up alone. Pick me's get passed around and then they end up alone. Okay? That shit don't work. It's never gonna work. He said when BGS calls himself teaching, he reads or plays someone's ideas and repeats ideas in a different way. Yeah, yeah. Man, me and my lady got some wine, some soul food. We ate, drank, and got it in until like 2 a.m. Okay, now. That's what yeah, back to what I was saying about socializing. Um, you know, you got to have those social skills because the the skills that you get by socializing and networking with people, it carries on. It gives you. We're not born with all these social skills, especially when you got people of different classes, different backgrounds. It's good to be well rounded to meet people. And those, like you just said, V Dub, you got to have that person that wants to be around you. You got people that want to be in relationships, but do anybody want to be in a relationship with you? Do they enjoy your company? Do you excite them? You know? Y'all give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hold on 1 second. So yeah, you have to have a certain amount of maturity, you know? And that maturity brings more social skills. Let me read these comments. Ambassador says, well, most of the academy is standing on the shoulders of people who have done the work. And you add your observations, so I don't know what reading other people's work has to do with anything. Well, Ambassador, I think I've said this before, and I'm gonna get back to this topic of social networking because I'm not trying to get into a whole bunch of conversation about BGS. I'm a teacher, okay, and I have the pedagogy and all of that. And one thing that I do know is you have to graduate at some point. You understand? At some point, you got to graduate. That should be clearly defined what graduation is. Do y'all know what y'all graduating from and when? Do y'all? I'm asking. Since you want to throw that out there, when is graduation and what does graduation look like? You tell me. Since you are a student, you tell me. The best thing BGS has is you don't really have to listen to what he says. Just read the material, and if you disagree, look into the material published by people that disagree. Well, I hmm, I want to go to the root of some things though. Why are you guys? It's not just like it's not just like hey, we're interested in topics. It's kind of like a lot of y'all are coming like sons to get guidance. And that's a question I've always had. Where are the social networks within y'all's group? Like, y'all don't have uncles, y'all don't have fathers, granddaddies. I know I listen to MOT all the time. I have in the past when he had a lot of lives all the time. He doesn't have lives as much now. But MOT would always talk about his grandfather and the other men, older men being around him and guiding young men. And his granddaddy told him what graduation was. You understand? Because elders always tell you what graduation is. And they tell you how to get there. His granddaddy always told him, your graduation is you get your skills and you get the fuck out of here and go make something out of yourself somewhere else. Leave Mississippi Delta. You understand? You can't just have people in perpetuity, in perpetuity. You can't. Just forever, just sitting around at your feet. You have to. And I mean, let me say this. I'm a healer and I'm a teacher. I'm a healer and I'm a teacher. This alchemy stuff I don't bring to YouTube. I'm not going to. This is not, I would never. But the mind is a place of mastery. And what I don't like, and I've told him over and over again, you have to release people. You have to. That's why I encourage him to be a healer. You have to release people. In Haiti, I'm gonna give an example. In Haiti, I've studied a lot of things up close, things I have nothing to do with. I'm looking for the universal truth. So when I go to Haiti, and I've been to Haiti many times, I am studying the tradition of voodoo. I do not practice voodoo. There are universal principles, okay, esoteric knowledge that you can unlock in any faith, and I go to all of them. Traveled to India, and I went to so many different temples and different faiths and all kinds of shit. I don't bring that to YouTube. I'm not going to bring the depth into YouTube because it doesn't deserve to be there. But let me say this. When you, when I, one of the things I discovered is soul snatching. Okay. And I'm not being spooky here. They have this zombie, and even Selah, who's from Nigeria, he has a song called Zombie. Zombie. Listen to the song, Zombie. And zombie is a state of mind. Okay. I have brought back a bottle from Haiti. And this bottle it's so strange the way it's created. It has an energy about it. But this bottle is a bottle that is said, this type of bottle, this style, you have to see it. I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it. And it is a bottle that they believe you encapsulate people's soul. This is something they do in voodoo. They take and steal soul and they put them in the bottle. That's why I say I don't bring this shit to YouTube. This is a tradition. It's not what I believe. It's not mine. I'm studying other people. When I went to Cuba, I studied Santeria. So anytime you see me moving, traveling the world, I am studying something. I went to Mexico and I studied, some of their traditions. So I study for the common understanding, the universal knowledge, the esoteric. I enter those spaces. I have to go to the root. So I say that the zombie is, listen to this Fela zombie. It'll tell you what it is. Someone tells you what to eat. Someone tells you what to drink. Someone tells you what to think. They tell you when to move. You become a puppet, an animate object for someone to force their will upon. And I personally don't think that that is liberation. I don't think that's liberation. Let me read the comments before I go further. Especially reading things like tragedy and hope. But I'm trying to tell you, it's bigger than books, though. That's what I'm telling you, Ambassador. It's bigger than books. It's bigger than books. It's much bigger than books. Life is to be lived. You understand? Life is to be lived. I appreciate him pointing out books and name dropping books. I appreciate it. And I write them down. And some of them I read, some I don't. You know, I appreciate books. But I don't know. I'll just leave it there. I'll just say this, that the zombie, that's the part that I don't like. I feel like a healer tells you when graduation is. You still haven't told me what graduation looks like. Ambassador, please tell me what exactly is graduation, when is it, and what does it look like? When you have accomplished X, Y, and Z, you graduate. You move on, you're done. Tell me when that is. You understand? That's why I feel like it's soul stealing. It's holding people in a state of purgatory for indefinite periods of time. You know they have thirst of knowledge. Teach a person how to teach themselves and let them move on. And I think it's a power thing. He's very influential. He's very influential. And that's just my personal opinion. I think he has the ability to heal. And I was thinking that this morning. I said, why doesn't he? I post stuff all the time of real black men I know who do amazing things. My brother, this he's a what do you call it? A councilman. He called in the black brothers from the Atlanta Falcons and corporate partnerships. He called them in to do a project for the black community for a black playground, a park in the black community. You see what I'm saying? Why don't we highlight that? I have another guy, Booker T. Washington. He's not somebody I personally know, but I was looking at tiny homes, which is something I'm interested in, and I saw that Booker T. Washington has developed affordable housing. He's building literal houses, creating jobs, creating an industry, and he's got black people and people of color doing that work. And now he's doing his second project now, and it's black people. It's clear it's for black people to live in. He's doing it now. He's going to start doing it around the world. Not the world, I'm sorry, around the United States. A black man who's literally developing and building. You know, where is that? Why isn't that the focus? Being in the real world, not in books, not talking about distant times and spaces while the world passes you by. Let me tell you something, Ambassador. No, Sir Him. That man's name, Google it now. He's named after Booker T. Washington. Type in small houses, tiny homes, type in Booker T. Washington. Not the same one. He was named after him. I guess his parents knew he'd do great things. Good morning, Sir M. What you said, what did they ramble about? No, you didn't. No, the fuck you didn't call me rambling. I ain't rambling. I'm telling the truth. I didn't want to get too deep into the zombie, but trust me, the zombie is fucking relevant. It's real fucking relevant. And like I said, I want to know, where are the men? Where are the granddaddies and the older brothers and the uncles and the cousins that like I just want to know. I got so many elder men I can call on at any time. Oh my God. I got so many. If I need some advice, small or large, I'm a woman. I'm not even invested in manhood. I got those networks. And so I'm trying to figure out why y'all brothers don't have those networks. I'm just curious. I'm not criticizing. I'm curious. You know, I'm curious because I think that it's a zombie type of circumstance. I got to get my ass off of here because I got this new printer and I got to learn how to. I keep coughing, y'all. This is horrible. Hold on. I got a chest cold. Excuse me. I got this new printer, and for years I've had this system where I refill my own ink cartridges. I buy ink wholesale, like literally liquid ink, and I fill my own shit up. I didn't bought this new cartridge and this new ink printer. I got my gloves here. I got my tools set, and I got to dig in. I already watched the video to know how to do it, but this will be my first time. So that's what I got to get done because I've been printing invoices, and the motherfucker stopped and said the black ink is gone. And I can't do business until I get this new ink in here. And I'll be damn if I'm finna go to Office Depot and pay them bastards $35 for something that's gonna print only 100 pages. You crazy? And then I got this new. I got to get my husband. My husband's a techie, not me. I got this portable SSD. It's a SanDisk, high speed storage. I've got a what do you call this? A hard drive. I got a hard drive. I need to figure out how to get the pictures and videos out of my iPhone into this hard drive. So I have a tech driven day because I'm about to use Canva and learn how to video edit so I can make some social media. Uh, I'm about to get on Instagram and TikTok. And so I got to learn how to edit. I got to learn how to edit some shit. I got to learn something new. So that's what I'm dedicating part of my day to. And then I got to do inventory on all this fucking linen. I got like 1,000 pieces of fucking linen for this business. And I gotta go back to do the inventory all over again. Because I bought a whole bunch of shit. And I sold some shit and I lost some shit. I had a couple of people fuck up, a couple of tablecloth. I got a lot of shit to do. So I'm not gonna be on here too long. Let me read. Um Sir Him, what are you trying? I'm gonna be honest with okay, let me go back. He said, I'm gonna be honest with respect. Sometimes when you start talking about experience and stuff, it opens that door for bad faith actors. So reading prerequisites can be a good thing. I just got here. What's the topic? So why was BGS brought up? Hold on. Well, let me say this. You said kind master? Download KindMaster to your phone. I use KindMaster for my quick edits. It's easy and they have teaching videos on YouTube. Really? Okay. So for like videos for fun. Okay. Yeah. I could maybe for YouTube I can do that, definitely. But I was already paying for Canva, so I'm gonna use it. Plus I got so many photos and shit already loaded in the Canva and I can use it on my desktop. So I'm definitely gonna try the Canva for my advertising. Um And I got a young lady. She's a millennial. Or she Gen Z? Nah, she's Gen Z. I'm about to work with this young lady. She sent me her portfolio. I just networked with her from an event I just did with the Nigerian brothers that I just do the underground parties. So they had this young lady and she does marketing. And she's their event planner. And so I decided to network with her for her to help me set my remember V-Dub, I was saying I need to set goals for my business and I was not motivated for marketing. I think I have a fear of social media and productivity, V-Dub. So what I decided to do is I'm hiring this young lady. I need some tax write-offs anyway. Um, Not write-offs, but you know what I mean. Tax liability. Anyway, um, so that would be good. I'm hiring her for 2026. I'm asking her for a plan to help me brand and market like a renew and a redo for 2026. And I'm rolling out my Miss May May's tea party. I'm rolling that out. Miss May May's uh what did I call it? Miss May May's mobile tea party. I'm rolling it out. Um 2 years now I've been bullshitting. So I'm about to work with a Gen Z. We gonna see how this gonna turn out. She got the skills, but I hope she has the professionalism. That's all I hope. Cause I ain't got time, playing games. I say that only I'm not discounting her, but she showed up 30 minutes late from the time she's supposed to when I came to set up. I don't forget shit like that. Motherfuckers show up late. I lower my expectations. Oh my god, I keep coughing. Hold on. Man, I'm getting so confused. Okay. Sir him, you asked me why did we bring BGS up. I only brought BGS up because I was thinking about the conversation that he had last night. Somebody was blaming boomers and saying not blaming them, but they're saying boomers had it easier than millennials. So we're having a conversation about generations. And I brought that up because BGS last night he said he was gonna go get him a drink. He was stressed out. And I was just saying that I think that the boomers had it easy. I agree with whoever said that. They had a formula. These motherfuckers don't have a formula for success. They just out here on their own and they don't know what the fuck to do. And your parents can't tell you because the formula no longer applies. You understand? So it's fucked up. You said sometimes when you start talking about experience and stuff, it opens the door for bad faith actors. I don't know what you mean by that. What I'm saying is if you know so much, you have to apply it in real life. That's where I'm coming from. Because at the end of the day, it gets results. You don't have experiences. If you don't know stuff, you can't tell people shit. You just can't. Do you think, Ambassador, that when I want to hear like, okay, how do I learn about marriage? Because we are let's be humble. Let's be humble. We are all fucking learning. A lot of people think, oh, I get to 30, I know everything. I get to 40, I know everything. You know you don't know shit. And you're constantly learning. Or you should be. And you should be humble. I became a mother. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I gotta be honest. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I can copy people. I read 3, 4 books about babies before she came. That shit did not help me. Okay? You don't know nothing about changing no fucking diaper and gagging and all that other shit until you change one, okay? Experience is everything. Books don't have practical, you can apply the information, knowledge from a book, but until you're out here experiencing and doing some shit, you don't know shit. You know what somebody else said, you know what somebody else did, or what they told you they did, but you don't have experience. Experience is everything. That's all I'm saying. Let me go back. And what's the topic? The topic, I already went through it and I talked about it. The topic was you have to have social networks. If you are complaining that you are not meeting quality people of your race, not of your race, it's your fucking fault. That's the bottom line. It's your fucking fault. You don't socialize enough. You're not out here networking. You should have religious networks, faith group networks. You should have volunteerism networks. You should have professional networks. You should have job related networks. You know what I'm saying? You should have networks all around you. And when you meet people, they invite you to shit if you're a nice person, and you're going to have more people and more people. You will have a plethora and abundance of people because you network socially. And if you don't do that, then you're not doing your job. And that's why your circle is small. And when the smaller your circle is, the less quality opportunities you have, the less options you have as far as finding a mate. That's your fucking fault. That's all I was saying. Sir, can you be turning me up? He said, remember, I asked a question that provoked you sharing the experience where the woman was basically uninterested in your merit and only cared about your social merit. We are trying to avoid that. That's a job. That's not the same as a relationship. That's a job. Everybody has to go in for the interview. Who gets to avoid the interview? You can't avoid the interview. Everybody gets an interview when you're talking about a job. That's not the same as connecting with human beings. That's not the same thing, sir. Let me see else. My daughter just offered to market for me. Well, you lucky, because marketing costs, and they try to squeeze it. And she told me something about, oh well, I'll do it weekly. Oh, see, nah, no, ma'am, I don't need you to do that. I can do my own shit. That's what people like to do. Have the back page of your website and then try to charge you every time you want to update every little thing. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. She don't know that yet. That's not gonna be part of it. I need you to teach me how to teach myself, sister girl. I'm not slow. I'm gonna have all the accounts in my name and I'm gonna post. I'm paying you to teach me how to teach myself to fish. That's what I'm doing. But that's a blessing to have your daughter support you. Yeah, the generational war. I'm glad I had my children young. Yeah, that's definitely a benefit to having kids young. Definitely. I think there are a lot of good people ready to be in relationships. The problem is they keep getting caught up in popular culture manipulation tactics. Nobody is trying to be publicly humiliated. Well, sir, him, like I said, let's go back to the idea of social networks. Let's go back to that. If you have social networks, you got to get on what I'm saying now. Get on that level of what I'm saying. Fuck all that stupid shit. You have people who have planned lives. Understand? People who are methodical about their lives. If you are methodical about your life, you want to meet people in that realm. You understand? How do you filter that? How do you filter out Bonquisha and Keisha? And how do I figure out filter out a Jerome and so on? So it's easy. You don't have to deal with strangers, is what I'm saying. You don't have to do all this guesswork. And let me throw you some game about how I see social networking. And then I'll give you a brief how I met my own husband, okay? You have all these different people that you socially network with, business and all that other stuff. I'm not gonna keep going over the different groups, but it's a plethora. And in those, you can meet more people who invite you to, hey, we having a barbecue. Hey, 4th of July. You should be at a point where on the 4th of July, you say, damn, I got invited to three things. Now, which one do I want to go to? Because some things are highly social and some things are more professional. But the more highly social and those are networks that were professional that you get, you filter a lot of bullshit out. Okay. I have a couple of um, law firms that I get invited to their Christmas. I'm not a Christian, so a lot of times I don't go. But I get a letter, an invite every year from these particular law firms, black law firms. And I go every so often. And when you go to those events, it's fun. People are drinking and laughing and talking, and they're networking. They're connecting. Oh yeah, I'm a Q. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm a Delta. Half the time they wear the shit on them, so you don't have to ask. But this is where it's done. This is where you can pick among the best. Your preferences are there already. That brother might have a sister. You understand? A sister, a cousin of his that you might end up meeting if you go to his barbecue for 4th of July. You have filtered out all the bullshit. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying people are perfect. I'm just saying that the strag and the raggedy so and so, this and that, a lot of that trashy people who can't fucking read. Now, of course, you have to meet. You got to meet people on your level because that's your level. You of course you can't get into spaces like that with people who you're not similar to. So you're gonna network with people who are similar to you, whatever you may be. That's my point. And so what I'm saying is, perfect example. If you go to, let's say you have a friend, a frat brother, And the frat brother says, "Hey, listen, a whole bunch of my homeboys that went to Howard University are coming down here to Atlanta, and we're having a networking event, and we rented out this big da 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 da. We doing another, you know, that's bridging you to connections that are outside of the state too. Now you got, oh, that's brother. He do so. We do the same thing, you know. You talk it, and now you got DC connections, you know. And maybe that person might say, hey, there's a conference coming. You want to come? Or I'm throwing a conference, or I'm doing a workshop. You want to come? And now you in DC with this person who's not the original person on some business and networking shit. And then that person says, hey, we're doing a happy hour after this event. All of us are going. So you have a whole bunch of men, you know, going to the happy hour in DC, and it's a whole bunch of introduce you to different DC women. I'm just saying, it's so easy. It's so easy to network, to network, to network. And then you have all this abundance and plethora of options. But people sit in their home and they don't go nowhere. They don't talk to nobody. They don't do nothing. They're not out here making shit happen. If you out here rocking like you should be, you're networking like hell. And you're gonna meet tons of people. And you're gonna meet quality. It's gonna filter. A lot of this shit's gonna filter. But this is what I was gonna say. Again, my perfect example. Perfect example here. And then I'm gonna read the comments. I had been social networking for a long time. Okay. I kind of grew up like that. My mom had me doing volunteerism, and I was in Girl Scouts, the Greater Atlanta, not Atlanta, Greater Augusta Women's Club. I was in the junior chapter. I have been doing debutante, all that stuff. I have been doing all of those things as a young person. So networking is already something I had been doing. I grew up like that. So it only continues in college and beyond. I'll say that first. So I was socializing, and we go to this event, that event, da da da. I have this mutual friend, okay, and I met my husband at this mutual friend's event. I met my husband at this mutual friend we have, their event. I didn't have to go to the club. I didn't have to, do this and that. I was able to vet him through the mutual friend. He was able to vet me through the mutual friend. At least start the beginning, you know? And so what I'm saying is your best bet. These are real things I'm saying, and those things are not being shared. These people who are coaching and doing all this stuff, they selling all this humdrum, doom and gloom. They're not telling the truth of how people actually, a lot of times, are successfully meeting. And they're getting rid of it, they filtering the bullshit. They're not telling that. They're not promoting that. You don't need game. You don't need none of that shit. Be yourself. And people who are the right age and who are married mind, they're gonna look at each other naturally. And that's what you want. You don't want a bitch you gotta convince. Don't you want to be a wife? Don't you want to be with me? Don't you want to be? No. You're gonna be in that space and black women gonna be like, ooh, who's that brother? Because I'm sure looking for a husband. I went to that event knowing in the back of my mind, it's got to be somebody. I wasn't hunting, but I had that in my mind. It's got to be somebody. I always had that in my mind. In my 20s, when I got free from my ex ex, I was old. Marriage was on my mind. Not thirsty, but it was on my mind. Husband time. When I'm networking, I'm thinking, where's husband? Where's husband? And that particular day, I saw husband. He ain't see wife. I'm gonna be honest. He wasn't studying me. He was not studying me. But I know what I saw. Okay? I know what the fuck I saw. And I said, that is husband. I don't barely know this nigga, but that's husband. I can see it. I can see me. I can see me being with this dude forever. After I had a conversation with him, and that's what I'm saying. He didn't try. He didn't do nothing. He was just walking around, a little drink here, socializing. I walk up on the group. He's there. I said, "Ooh, what's this?" I said, "What's this? What is this? What is this? Here, man." I had marriage in my mind. So when you're in networking groups and people are in the appropriate age, Not around no 40-year-olds, not around no 30-year-olds. If you are in your 20s and 30s, you're going to see that there are women who are unmarried who are also in those social groups looking for a husband. That's the truth. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to tell that part. I was in my mind definitely saying when I'm socializing, I'm searching for, got my eye open and ready for a husband. At that point, I was 25. I was like, bitch, it's gonna have to happen soon. And choose well. But hurry up, ho. Okay. That's how women who want to be married act. That clock is ticking. That time is going. You in your young to mid 20s, you are looking for a husband. That's the bitch you want to attract. You don't have to try to convince the bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all be trying to do. I'm gonna make Keisha. Nah. You need to be looking for the woman who wants to be she's looking for a husband. That's what y'all fail to realize. Y'all keep putting y'all energy. There's this book called, well, this concept called The Donkey and the Racehorse. Y'all chasing donkeys and you need to be waiting for the racehorse. That's what y'all need to do. Ride the racehorse, don't chase the donkey. That's what I'm trying to say. Ride the racehorse, don't chase the donkey. And the more you in social networks, the more racehorses you're gonna meet. Women are looking for husbands. I don't know who tell y'all something different. The women who want to be married in their 20s, they are looking for husbands. Y'all understand the pressure? But I think y'all chase women that don't want to be married. That's y'all's problem. And these men don't want to tell y'all the truth. All this making and forcing, and she got to conform and be on my plan. Women who want to be married, that's not even that's a non-motherfucking factor. That shit is not even relevant to speak on. Because once I saw my husband for 4 years of that courtship, I told him like that first, what, 2 weeks? I told him, I said, listen, if you're not interested in this going towards marriage, I know it feels premature, but if marriage is not something that you're interested in, I'm not going to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine. And some people can call that aggressive, but I'm a 20 something year old and I ain't got time on my side. I don't have time for no nigga to waste my first 1, 2, 3 years figuring out he don't want me and I'm 30. You crazy? You crazy as fuck. Because I'm gonna get my best options right here in my 20s, my mid 20s. I'm 25. You're not gonna waste not 1 year of my life. Let me know now if you're not marriage minded or you don't see me that way. Tell me now. I know it's only 2 weeks, but I just gotta tell you up front. If you just think it's gonna be a fucking cluck, you crazy. I'm gone. Now it wasn't an ultimatum. It was, where are you in your mind? Are you looking to get married? Because to whoever, but are you trying to get married? Period. You have to find out if I'm the one, but are you even trying to get married? A lot of women don't even have that conversation. You know, they want to play coy and da da da. But women who are marriage minded, that's a conversation. And that would be my thing to a man. If you don't have a woman who's talking about, like, not crazy marriage, but like, like asking, what is the intention here? If she don't ask you that within the first month, she probably ain't shit as far as getting married to. And that's if you're a marriage minded person. A lot of y'all dudes want to pretend you traditional and conservative and you're marriage minded, but you're not. Y'all gotta stop lying to yourself about that. Y'all want to fuck somebody. Y'all want to play with somebody. Y'all don't be serious. Let me go back to the comments. He said, I think there are a lot of good people ready to be in a relationship. The problem is they keep getting caught up. Yeah, you don't. Mm-mm. That's filtered out. If you start social networking, a lot of that's filtered out. AI can do a lot of marketing for you if you just ask. Yeah, I'm a look into that. I'm gonna ask her about. I asked her how can I push one button and it go everywhere, and she said she knows something about that. So I'm gonna trust this Gen Z because she knows technology. I mean, she knows technology to the point where she wants to text all the time. I'd be like, listen, girl, I'm gonna need you to call me. I need voice and communication, but they're all about the phone anyway. Sir him, he said, people change interests. Like Tia graduated from her relationship. Who the fuck is Tia? Who is that? Who is Tia? People change, interests change. Like Tia graduated from her relationship. I don't know what that. I'm at work, so I have to type fast. But all social networks have limitations on certain types of conversations to maintain peace. So just do both. I had plenty of and socialize intentionally. Yeah, I said that earlier. I don't know if you heard that. I said like particularly with your professional job, you don't want to network, certain ways. I agree. I didn't want to network too much among my teachers, co-workers. That's got limitations. You're absolutely right. But like I said, the further you get away from your circle, the better. And the stuff that becomes more social, like house parties. I mean, I get invited to Halloween party, all kind of shit. And sometimes I miss that. But it was for a time. I got that through my 20s, my mid 20s, well, yeah, my mid 20s and mid 30s. I went hard in the paint. I got it all. I did it all. It was time to really, really act like a married person and settle down like a married person. I think that was good for me and my husband because we both have a wild streak in us. We both are very outgoing. He just told me last night. He was like, May, just be prepared. I'm about to hop to Morocco. I said, okay. He give me a head up sometimes. I was like, okay. So he said he going to Morocco. We're very outgoing. And that's the thing we realize that we're perfectly paired. We have to let each other live. We have to. We have to. And then I'll go back and talk about how I met my husband real quick. How long did you think your first marriage would last, and when did you decide to leave? My first marriage, I was young. I was 17, and that's why I said this idea of older men, young women. It sounds good to y'all. It seems like a selling point. Oh, I'm washed up now, but I can get a younger girl. It don't work. She starts looking at if she's even attracted. She starts looking at you like, why am I here? This is boring, or this is strange, or this is weird. And that daughter father dynamic, that shit gets old, you know? And then at some point you start to resent or be irritated or even challenge an older man as you get mature because you just kind of like, I do want you to like look out for my best interest, but at the same time, you want to extend your arms a little bit. You want to feel grown. And when they start trying to keep you like a kid, that's when you like, oh man, fuck this shit. It's natural. It's natural. Like I said before, try to keep a child from learning how to walk. Good fucking luck. And dudes don't know because they don't have experience. I have experience in it. I know what it's like to be a younger woman, you know. And you're looking for the security of an older man, and you just think, okay, I can tolerate this, I can tolerate that, and you do for a while, and this shit seem okay, and then you start looking at the world different. Just like the passport bros, when bitches come here, they'll be up under you the first couple of years, and then reality sets in. The relationship was one not built on like um, mutual satisfaction. And young girls, they get tired of old dudes. I'm just being honest with you. They get tired. I don't say that disrespectfully towards my ex-husband, but I got tired of his tactics. I got tired of being his daughter. I got tired of that shit. You understand? And then that affects everything when you get tired of it. Because you're grown, you're an adult. Try to keep a baby on his knees the rest of his life. See how that work out for you. You understand? It's natural. It ain't got nothing to do with no feminism. Things need to grow. They need to mature. And you can't stop that. You can't arrest someone's development. And when you try to do that, it's just gonna go bad. It's gonna go bad. And yeah, so the big age gap, that shit gets old. It gets old. I don't know how else to tell you. You just get tired of it. It's just over. It's fucking over. No matter what. And you would think, oh, well, I have this religion in common. That'll hold us together. No, that dynamic is not going to last long. So all these old dudes, they end up getting left, most of them, unless the bitch is just sorry as hell, and she don't want to take a chance and get out here on her own. But a lot of young women, they'll just hop on, with a younger guy. That's all. If they're too sorry to work and get out here and be independent, they'll just hop onto a younger guy their own age. That's just the truth. So let me go to the next comment. Oh, how long did I think I didn't think the honestly, I was focused on getting my bachelor's degree. I was very ambitious, and so I didn't know how long it was going to last. But I knew one thing: I was going to get my bachelor's degree, and I wasn't going to have no children. I knew that. And by the time I got my bachelor's degree, I had grown tired of the relationship. I had went from the age of 17, just turning 17, and by 21, I was done. So 5 years, I was done. I don't know if that's almost six. I was done, and it wasn't intentional. But once I got that bachelor's degree, I was like, I wasn't doing well on my own. I really struggled after I left my ex-husband. Bachelor's degree don't equal money, so I left him broke. I literally left him broke, and I had to rely on my dad to a certain extent. I had to go. I didn't go back home, but I had to rely on my dad for support, emotional support as well. So it's not easy. So anyway, let me see here. He said, "May you take him forever." I'm forgetting what your main point is. Tia Mowry. Um, See, that's another thing, Sir Him. Y'all do that shit, all this gossip and celebrity shit. That shit is not real. Why do y'all keep focusing on fucking celebrities? Tia Mowry. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all men sit around. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but y'all sit around like a bunch of bitches gossiping about black women and black men and what the fuck they do in their private life, which should be not be public. You don't know the situations people be going through. You don't know what they doing. You don't understand the dynamics between people. That's not public. And so you just guessing, guessing, guessing. And there's no point in all that. And celebrities are under a different scrutiny. They have a whole bunch of different set of circumstances you will never have. They got a fucking camera in their face 24 hours a day, right? They got publicists that promote shit that ain't true. They live among lies, okay? Come on now. That's a problem. O'Shea Duke Jackson set that trend. Men sitting around gossiping about relationships as if that's evidence of something. That shit's crazy. But see, that's what y'all do when y'all don't have no real experiences. When y'all don't have real success or real failure experiences, then y'all rely on celebrities. That should be a plethora among functional men of conversations to be had that don't have anything to do with celebrity. Celebrity is a whole nother world. Why compare anything? Those people are not normal. They don't live under normal circumstances, normal situations. Why would you compare celebrities? Why would you use them as an example of anything? I thought it was crazy the other day. Y'all, I gotta get my ass up out of here. Um, I thought it was crazy the other day when I heard what's his name? The business. He was blaming Oprah for all these women getting a divorce. I said, well, goddamn, this don't make sense. Because as a married woman, do you think I would like seriously? As a married woman, do you think I would actually tune in to Oprah Winfrey, a woman who is single and childless, for her to give me advice or to hear anything that she has to say or promote as it relates to marriage, my personal marriage? Do you really think I would go to a single childless woman who is vowed to never be married and expect her to give me advice? She has no experience as a married woman. Come on now. Y'all be giving too much power to celebrities and shit. I don't know where y'all get this from. Oprah couldn't tell me shit, okay? Ever. But the business tried to blame all these Generation X women for letting Oprah influence them into them bitches was mostly white and their husbands been treating them like shit. I told y'all white men ain't shit. And what happened is what I say, shit gets old. A lot of it, they say when a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Them bitches was looking for an excuse. Okay? Because when you happy, you ain't going nowhere. I'm happy. I ain't going no fucking where. Okay? Going no goddamn where. Ain't nobody finna tell me shit. Not no damn book, not no lecture. Not no classes. Look, I know where my bread and butter come from, spiritually, emotionally, and otherwise. So those women were looking for a reason, and maybe Oprah helped them with that. But they was gonna lead them in anyway. Y'all men gotta understand that women can get what you call sick and tired. So when women start telling y'all, hey, something ain't right, this is going on, y'all need to listen. And I think that men, in my opinion, don't always listen so well. Y'all say, okay, I heard it, and you put it in a box and you don't take action on it. You put it in a little box somewhere instead of taking action. And then women get to a place where they say, women get to a place where they say, okay, well, I did all I can do. I didn't cry, I didn't complain, I didn't fuss, I didn't fought, I didn't, talked, I didn't did everything. Fuck it. When a woman's fed up. And men get fed up too. I'm not saying men don't. But I think that's one of the things when, this just trend. Oh, women just break up with men just randomly for no reason. Nah, they've been telling you something was wrong, but you put it in a box and you thought it would just, sit over there real neat and it'll go away. And you didn't take action. He said you didn't answer this question. What the hell? You didn't answer the question. What question? I did answer the question. You said when did you decide to leave? Same shit I'm talking about. You asked me, I left when I had said over and over what I needed, what I wanted, and I was not heard. That's the main thing. Got tired of that. Just put it in the box and sit it in the corner. Don't take action. That shit that when a woman's fed up, that's how they get there. That's when I left. I was tired of being a piece of furniture. You understand? A title. You a wife. Now go in there and stay. I got tired of that shit. Got tired of it. I got tired of it. I wanted to engage. I wanted to have fun together. I wanted to live together. He was focused on sending money to Africa. He was focused on the as you I don't know if you noticed, but with Africans sometimes their main family they come from is their main focus. The wife is like a side dish, you know, maybe like the bread or the biscuit. The family is that they come from is the most important. She just a little thing on the side, a piece of furniture. And I was not being heard on that. Because I didn't have even the ambition at the time. Can we get a house like us? Instead of moving around, depending on where you working in this city, can we get a house? Like, you couldn't even have a conversation like that, you know? Couldn't even have that conversation. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a cold. So I did answer, sir. I explained it. But let me say this. In the social network, it's I got banned from Instagram for saying the same thing about Oprah. Oh, really? Flag down. If they listen, they lost. If they listen, they lost. Yeah, I wouldn't go to nobody, no damn celebrity to tell me shit. So I'll briefly just go ahead and explain how social networking works for me. Gabe was here earlier, and he talked about how he met his wife through social networking as well and vetting. And most of my friends, I'll be honest, my social circle, that's how we've all met for the most part, one way or another. Not all in the same group, but different ways of networking. That's how we've met, come across um, our spouse, you know. So that's why I had a mutual friend, and he had an event, and it goes from it could be professional, then it's like business, then it's like oh, this is at my home, or we're doing something after work. It's a thousand ways to meet. So it's not always one particular environment. Let me say that. And so each environment is going to be somewhat more intimate than others. Let's just say that. That's a given. Some are going to be, professional, so you're not going to be like, "Hey, girl," no, no, no. You got to look at the environment you in and approach someone accordingly. But the thing that's most important is the best part about social network. Guess what? You don't have to leap on the motherfucker. You don't have to leap. It's not like one shot. You get what I'm saying? You end up meeting these people because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Think about that now. This is why social networks are good. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to work the room, work the situation, introduce yourself this time, you know, just say a little bit, have a conversation. You don't got to leap on everybody the moment you see them. This is a given, right? So there's layers to the shit. Social networking. First time you might meet a woman, or like, let me just put myself. Fuck that. Let me put myself. If I'm single and I'm 25, the first time I meet this guy, I'm like, oh wow, interesting. We're having a conversation. Hey, sis, you want to grab you a drink real quick? Yeah, let's talk. We stand by the bar. We talk 5 minutes. It was nice meeting you. You gonna be at so and so, or I will figure out a way to extend the conversation. Hey, here's my business card, or there's something going on, and maybe we should talk about X, Y, and Z, or call me for coffee. We should talk about that issue, or I'm in that book club, or whatever. Make a connection and find a way to, not, I won't say hide, but camouflage that you somewhat interested, because everything doesn't go somewhere. But it's a new person in your network. But don't make a commitment the first time. Just make a connection. So that's what I'm saying. This is why social networks are good. Because guess what? There's like three other brothers in the room. I don't need to like fuck up this circle. Like, showing, oh, I'm thirsty. I want this dude. I'm on his face. I'm on his head. You don't got to do that. I could be easy. Just make a connection and let it rest. You can't have thirst. That's the thing. You can't have thirst to do these type of things. Then as over here, I done had a conversation, walked over here, had a couple of hors d'oeuvres, introduced myself, leave it at that. I don't know. He might find me attractive and reach out to somebody and be like, "Hey, that chick, I I was eating pizza puffs or whatever with her. What's her name?" You don't know. You just gotta throw out a little bit of bait everywhere. I'm just saying. Everybody's not followed to the end on day one. Then there's this other brother. Oh, some people introduce you. Oh, you guys should get to know each other. Y'all should come by my some have an event. Okay, cool. And maybe I go to that event. Maybe I see him again. Maybe I don't. And if I want to see him again, I'm gonna make sure you coming. Yeah, I'm coming. I'll be there. I'll see you there. Everything doesn't have to be exchange of information. Everything doesn't have to be uh, a hot ride into the sunset. Everything doesn't have to be followed to its end. It's a network. And you can expand it slowly. That's what I'm saying. Social networks are good. I will see this motherfucker again. And if I don't see them again, guess what? I have the connect to see them again. I know who knows them. I can make my way towards your direction. I can get back in your face again if I need to or want to. That's what I'm saying. Social networks are a good thing. And anybody who says otherwise is a fucking fool. You can be easy. You don't have to be thirsty. You don't have to get rejection because conversations turn into opportunity. And you can get a fair conversation in social networks. And you're free to be in a group setting doing it. I met my husband in a group set. It was a group of them talking. And I did not know how to approach him. I felt like I can't just walk up to him as one on one. I can't do that. I have never in my life wanted to approach a man. I mean, I was kind of new. I just been out of a ex relationship or whatever. So I don't have any practice with this. But I'm one of them. I'm a married woman. Like, how should I put it? I am wife. I've always been that. That's what I am. I am wife. I don't know how to be anything other than that. So when I'm not with husband, I'm off. I'm throwed off. I'm not cool. I'm not cool. And so I won't say that I was thirsty, but I was definitely on a mission. And I wasn't looking for anybody. I'm in my 25s. I got options. I'm fit. I'm looking good. I'm young. I don't got no kids. I got my little bachelor's degree, master's degree going on. I'm good. I'm straight. My dad put me in, an apartment, taking care of me. I'm good. But it's husband time. And so when I saw him, I said, "Ooh, shit. What is this I see?" And my husband, I don't know how to explain it. He has the look I like. Dark skin, African features, and long ass dreadlocks. And you would think he was from Jamaica somewhere. He looked like one of them guys that be selling dick on the beach in Jamaica. Okay. And I was like, oh shit. Oh man, and I had locks. I was a natural sister. I was like, whoa. We look like we belong. I saw him, I said, that's what I said, because there's a lot of people that don't have locks in the room, you know. Brothers with, you know. He got this like rugged look about him. This rugged, rough, but professional nigga look. And I was like, ooh, I like that. Big beard, mustache and shit. I was like, man, how do I? That's what I kept thinking. How do I? And I said, only thing I can do is walk over here to this group while they talking and get in the conversation. That's what I did. So that's another benefit of a social place, social space. It's safe. If it's a group of people talking, you can come stand there for a couple minutes while you eating and drinking, and you don't have to play your card. And as soon as you come, somebody's either going to introduce you or people going to say, hey, what's your name? They invite you in. They invite you into the conversation. That's what normal people do. People who used to socializing. Hey, so what's your name? When they start, introduce. Oh, okay. Well, then meet so and so and so and so, and now you're part of the group, and you can have a conversation. And I'm thinking, I'm wondering back then. I said, I bet I was staring at his ass. I bet I was. I was so googly eyed. I bet I was staring at him. I probably wasn't looking at nobody but him. Probably. I was so missed. I was so mystified. I was like, what's his voice gonna sound like? How's he gonna act? What is he gonna do? I was just so fucking curious, and it drove me to talk to him. It did. And I was standing in the group and talking to him, and he said, "My name is Niz." I said, "What kind of fucking name is this for a nigga?" Niz, Nizz, Niz. He had me there. What kind of, every time he did anything, I had questions, and he didn't have no wedding ring on. I looked at his dark chocolate hands. He didn't have no ring on. So that was answering question number two. He's not married. I'm observing everything. I'm observing everything. And I was like, stuff. I didn't have a thousand things, but what does he smell like? Can I get closer? If I did, I got closer, and I think I ended up kind of saying something, and then getting like, like I'm extra interested in the conversation he's having. I think it had to do something with travel. I was like, "You travel?" And then I got over there on his side, and I stood by him, and he was laughing. He had a sense of humor. He was talking, and he was so cool. And I was like, okay, he got to be giving me some vibes. Like, he got to be like, yeah, girl, what's up? I'm waiting for that, yeah, girl, what's up energy. I didn't get nothing. I said, fuck. That thirsty brother, I'm trying to holler. I didn't get nothing from him. He was just talking, having a great conversation. Very neutral. And that made my coochie do what it do. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh man. The fact that he wasn't trying to like say nothing to me, just having a conversation, I said, okay, one or two things is happening. He must have a woman, or maybe she's here, or I don't know. My mind started going, and I couldn't get all the answers. And I'm not gonna lie, I could have waited and played it easy and just been like, all right, y'all, end of the party, bye, y'all. I could have done that. But something in me was like, nah, this is the one. This is the one. And this is Atlanta, and the competition is high. So I don't have time to wait till we see each other again by chance, or through it. I was like, nah, I'm not, and I can't send. I'm grown. I can't send no message. Hey, so and so, can you tell so and so to talk to me? I can't do that. That's just childish, right? And so I'm waiting on him to make the move, and he doesn't. He doesn't ask for my number. He doesn't try to extend the conversation. So I hang around at the event. I hang around some more. I don't know how long the time lapsed. I kind of gave it some time for him to come back and maybe come up to me, say something else. And I said, fuck it. You know what? It's time for me to go. You don't want to be the last person to leave. That's not socially cool. I said, I'm going to write my damn number down and I'm going to sashay my ass over here and I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to shoot my shot. And he either going to call me or he ain't. So I wrote my number down and I went over to him. I think I grabbed him by the elbow at the back or something behind him. And I leaned over and whispered in his ears. I slipped it in his hand. I said, I don't call men, but I really want to get to know you. So here's my number and I hope you call. And honey, I sashayed my ass on out the door. That's how I did that shit. I don't know if I looked crazy. I don't know if I made a spectacle. I don't know. I didn't give a damn. I did it incognito, but I shot my shot, you know. And that's because I'm in a city where there's a lot of bitches. And what you won't do, another one will. I'm just saying. I was come to find out later the reason why he was not thirsty because he had a rotation of women. He had a whole rotation. He sure did. He had a rotation for a good while. And he told me about that rotation. And I said, that's okay. That's all right. I like that you honest. He's like, I got lots of friends. I said, oh. That's why I wasn't picking up on no thirst, no pressing, no nothing. I knew that's what it was. I said, he got lots of options. So I ain't gonna go deep into it, but let me say this. I made sure I was number one. Cause sister girl started breaking out them damn airline tickets. You hear me? I was planning weekend getaways across the country and out of the country. Hey, are you busy on so and so weekend? I want to go to Jamaica. I got tickets. I got the tickets. Hey, you ever been to Costa Rica? Do you want to? Let's go. They got a concert in attendance. Do you want to go? Oh man. I was just nice and polite, but I made sure I dominated his time, his thoughts, and his energy as much as I could by not being, this is all his choice now. That's choice. I ain't stupid. I ain't running the nigga down. But I'd be like, hey, I'm thinking about going to Barbados. You want to go? And slowly but surely, I became the main screen. You understand? So anyway, let me see. I gotta go back up. Okay. Hey, y'all, I'm looking at the chat now. I was looking at the leaves blowing in the wind. Okay, where we at? You didn't answer the question. You did tell a story though. Damn it, Sir Him. Say the question. God damn. Hey, what's up, Femi? Hey, what's going on? B Dub. He said that's why you said I'm dangerous. Ain't no thirst in me. Yeah. Yeah, V Dub. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, V Dub. You kind of light for my taste, but you got that look. You got that look. Yeah, that's my look I like in black men. You got that look. You was like 8 shades darker, boy. Ah, but yeah, yeah, you need to stay your ass off the screen, B Dub. You're handsome. Um, and yeah, you don't have thirst, B Dub. You don't, and that's extremely attractive. He said, "What time his stream started? What's up, Chaos Rain?" And he said, "There." You said there. You occupy his available time. Yeah, that's what I had to do, and I ain't got no shame in my game because I'm in Atlanta. And let me tell you something about Atlanta. Atlanta, I don't give a fuck what you think, who you think you are as a female. There is another bitch. It's competition, and we're not gonna play games like it's not. Okay, we're not even finna do that. Competition is high in this bitch. This is a concentration of women. And all these educated women, they want educated men. My husband's educated. All these women want a man who's got his shit together. And he had his shit together. I didn't have no time to play around. 25. I need a husband. And it's a lot of bitches way finer than me, better size than me, better pussy than me. It's a whole bunch of bitches out here, more degrees than me. It's a whole bunch of them. They got these sisters out here in Atlanta. Ain't nothing to play with, okay? Let me tell you, if you an insecure female, don't bring your ass to Atlanta. Don't fucking do it. Go to a valet and watch the kind of cars these sisters be driving. Okay? These bitches be rolling in the dough. They boss bitches. They all kind of bitches. These women in Atlanta do not come here to play. They don't. And a lot of them would rather be single than settle. They have a right. They have a right. Because they didn't kept their body together. They got their career together. They got everything together. Women that be on real estate, women making a lot of money. They got choices. They can get on the fucking plane and go to Dubai or Qatar and get them a shake. You understand what I'm saying? They got options. They can get on planes and shit and go places and find them an Italian man. Okay. So these women here don't have to settle. I'm just say that. They're not stuck. Just because they live in Atlanta don't mean they stuck. Don't mistake that. But for those who are here and want a black man who is in Atlanta, the competition and the stakes are high. I'm gonna say that. These dudes that come out of Morehouse, it'd be about 4 or 5 women already on their head. Okay. I have a lot of friends from Morehouse. I know what I'm talking about. And that's what you'll find in Atlanta. These good men, they rotate 4 or 5 women. Men who are worth some shit, they have a rotation of 4 or 5 women. That's just the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, V Dub. No, 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 no doubt, no doubt. And so that's what I had to deal with. I had to. You got to come to. And that's the thing that people talked about. Kevin Samuels. He brought women to reality, and a lot of times we don't want to deal with reality. That's the reality of Atlanta, particularly. I can't speak on other places, but Atlanta, the men. This is a men's market here. A man who got his shit together, he can get the best quality of woman he wants as a young man, not an old man, a young man. Best qualities here. And that's what I was saying earlier. These social networks and stuff, that shit you got to be doing in your 20s. That means you got to be trying to establish yourself. And you don't have to wait till you're fucking 40 and 50 and 60. You done waited too long. What you want is the 25-year-old who is your peer, the 23-year-old who is your peer in your age range. She's ready. And she exists. She exists. That's why I keep saying that all the time. These people exist. That's a lie. These people are lying out here. They lie because it sells books. They lie because it gets super chats. They lie because they can sell courses. They can tell all these lies. If you get into social networks of people who are your equal, your social equal, you will meet people who are of quality. And if you're in that age where you're trying to get married, you're going to meet lots of people in those social networks of people who are also trying to get married. You ain't got to drag them. You ain't got to train them. You ain't got to do none of that shit. They looking for you. Do you think my husband had any resistance from me? Look at the circumstances. I'm like, hey, brother, here's my number. I hope you call. I ain't finna call you and chase you, but I hope you call. I want to get to know you. That's all I got. I shot my shot. That's it. And if it's a bigger booty and bigger titties or a smarter bitch or whatever, do what you got to do. But once I got that call, that was all. I said, now I got your attention. It's my job to maintain it. And there's too many other bitches over here. I ain't seen them, but I know about them because you honest. And you can't lie in Atlanta anyway. If you got your shit together, you can't sit here and lie and tell women, oh, no, I'm not dating anybody. You're a liar. Fucking liar. Nobody gonna believe that. We got a scenario in Atlanta. We got a scenario in Atlanta. I know because I've been in the streets and the bars among the neo soulites, the black yuppies, the black up and coming. I've been in all of that. I've been in all of that. I was in the mix of that in my 20s and 30s. I have stayed in the mix of that. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. When you as a woman go into these environments, these lounges, these cigar bars and shit, you know, with the valet and all that. When you go to these places, these nice restaurants and shit, when you go there, what do you see when you get inside as a woman? What the fuck do you see? A whole bunch of bitches with coach bags and nice clothes and hair did, nails did, sharp as fuck, beautiful, skin got bronzer on it. I never had to wear bronzer, but bitches do it. They put bronzer on their back. They be shimmering in the sunlight of the light of the ceiling and shit. For real. Then they went to get their whole face done, made up with the MAC, right? I'm talking about women who go above and beyond to show up here for this moment in the social space. And I kid you not, you walk in, you be like, wow, it's like a fucking Miss America pageant. God damn it. La creme de la goddamn creme. And everybody's straight, everybody educated, everybody got money. You ain't even coming in here feeling comfortable if you don't. If you did, you'd be like, ooh, I'm underdressed. Let me get out of here. I'm embarrassing myself. Gotta come on the level. But imagine that you go into these environments like this, and I went to a lot of private parties too. A lot of private parties. That's the thing too about social network. You gotta have a place where you go to private events. Everything is not anybody from the street can come. Okay, a little bit elitism in there ain't bad. It ain't bad. So imagine how that feels as a woman. You walk in, and that's what you see. You see a whole room full of women. All of them smell good, look good, hair did, nails done, eyelashes. That man, that shit is. In your 20s, competition is hard. This shit ain't no joke. Anybody who been in Atlanta know. Okay. Nah, chaos. That's not true. He said, "Yeah, V Dub, it's a straight man's market. It totally is. The shit feels unfair. It feels chaos. You know what? You be on the internet too much. These women that I'm talking about 10 years ago, nobody was doing BBL. Maybe you want a BBL. Y'all men keep talking about the goddamn BBLs all the time. You can tell a BBL when you see one. I saw one in person. This lady had some hospital fucking scrubs, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" I was buying something from her. She looked like she was from Venezuela or something, and I was like, the portions was way the fuck off, and that was in person. And she's walking in her pants. She had to pull them because they were scrubs, and she had to pull them tight to make them fit. So it had like this tug about them. I was like, yeah, that shit's not natural. It was too much roundness too fast at the waist. Men are stupid. So I saw the BBL. I said, ooh, no, no, no. I can only imagine what that looks like naked. You just got like this tiny waist, and all of a sudden everything always a big ass bubble pops out. Like, whoa, no curves, no slight, nothing, no move and glide into it. None of that. Just bow. That shit looks like a Barbie doll. You know what a Barbie doll do? The waist come in real tight, and then all of a sudden she's got these big ass hips. I'm like, nah, that shit, that don't look right. So nobody cares about BBLs. It don't look right. It's not. He said, then women don't get natural. Then women don't got natural BBL at best. Chaos, you know what? I just ignore the stuff you say. You say crazy stuff. Those women, I'm talking about, this shit was this was 10, 15 years ago I'm talking about when I was hanging out. They didn't see no damn BBL. But anyway, my point is you go to these clubs, you go to these lounges, and then you just see a plethora of these women. And you just be like, wow. How many men? So we're going to say in the building, if they have a capacity of 600 people, let's go five. 500 people are in the building. Y'all hear me? Listen to this ratio. 500 people are in the building. How about 65 of those are black men? Okay? The ratio is so fucked up in Atlanta. Okay? The ratio is so fucked up in Atlanta. If you got 500 people in the building, 65 of them are black men. And then the black men, they always seem to me, and when I was socializing, they always seem to hang at the bar. They babysit the goddamn bar. They stay around the bar. That's what they do. And so Atlanta, you see women just dancing with women. They be dancing in a little circle with each other. The men don't come to the dance floor. Their men don't want to dance. They just be hanging out at the bar. So that's tough. Anyway, let me read the last comments and I'm gonna go. I seen the chicks in Atlanta, but I couldn't date them because they are of a mindset where value is a title, not a skill. Yeah, it's a lot of superficiality in Atlanta. It's like a resume. Women are very much looking for a resume on a man. That's true. And then after that, it's like, can't. We'll see if we can date after that. At this age, I can only date a humble woman that values emotional and physical connection and speaks life, not destruction, into her man. Absolutely, I respect that. I respect that, and that's the thing. In a woman in her 40s, she goddamn better be different than she is in her 20s. Goddamn better be nice. You ain't you know you can't roll all that stuck up snotty. I got choices and da da da. You could try it, but and I just think people don't want to be realistic. I don't like the red pill, the whole manosphere spill because they always trying to peg like, oh, women are always at a disadvantage, um, and men are always having to suffer and settle. Like that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not real. It's not real. And in the whole thing of like you gotta force a woman to want to be a wife, you gotta force her to act right. That's bullshit. Like that doesn't make sense. If you're in the right social circles and you do what you're supposed to do and being the type of man that somebody wants to be bothered with, it would be an honor for a woman to get to know you. It will be her honor. It'll be her duty because she's thinking, shit, my time is going. I got to get married by 2027. You know, there's lots of women who got their shit together and they're saying to themselves, I got to marry a quality man by the time I'm 25. By the time I'm 27, these women are out here. I think I would like to say I was a quality woman, or I am a quality woman. I was looking for that at 25. I got straight out of that. I said, I'm done. I'm not playing no more. My daddy done had to save me. This is bullshit. I got to grow up fast. You know, I got to get independent, get out here and fuck it. Next, you know, next. I didn't have time to play around. There are plenty of women. Their mama is saying, girl, you 24. What's up? I know my aunt was on my cousin. My cousin got married at 22. And that's old for my family. Married at. That means the engagement. My cousin got married at 22. The other one got married at 18. My females I'm talking about. Female cousins. So this is a lie. There are no married women made to marry. There are no women who are raised as wives. Oh, we're already gone by the time you're fucking 40, bruh. And now that you, oh man, we're not looking for you. You're not in our social network. You're not in our circle. We go among our peers. This is the kind of conversation nobody wants to talk about. So then you end up being an old man walking up on strangers, and then you talking about the dating market sucks. But where's your peer group, sir? Where's your peer group? Oh, you have. If it's the thing, it's the thing. If you're 45 and your peer group is 25, guess what? Something's wrong. If you're 45 and your peer group is 25, something's wrong. Naturally, you heard me just talk about the millennial girl. I mean, not millennial, the Gen Z girl. I'm hesitant with my life experience to deal with a Gen Z because I don't know that she knows how to be professional yet. No disrespect to her, but she was late for 30 minutes, okay? There's an apprehension about, you know, are we on the same page with younger people? Not I'm better than you, but are we on the same page? So you are 45, you're 40, 45. No 25-year-old wants to be bothered with you. I'm so fucking sorry. So fucking sorry. And if she does, it was a situation very much like mine. They're after security, they're after stability, They're after opportunity more than anything. There's some conditions, said or unsaid, and maybe if those conditions changed or her circumstances changed, she won't be there anymore. That's just the truth. So this idea that I'm gonna be 45 and I'm gonna move back in, to the past and be young again with a 25-year-old, she's not in your social network, she's not your peer, and younger women are not. We may have a fetish or turned on by older men, thinking what they can do and what they can bring. They already got more than our dudes our own age. There's that. That's real. But once you get into it, so you don't know until you experience something, then you be like, oh. I don't like that. I don't like that. And what happens to young women, we catch a whole lot of, I don't like that. It's for older men. So I have a fetish for older men, but I would never marry one. And I told that story about how I tried to, had met somebody and he was a Canadian. He was a lawyer. He fit the profile. That was my quick stint of trying something online real quick right after I had broke up out of that relationship. Had conversations and all that. But dude was a straight catfish. So I never went down that road again. But just in meeting him, you know, I knew. I said, oh no. I can have a fetish for older men. It's short, it's fast, it's it's cute. But long term, like my whole life with an older man, nah, I cannot marry an older man. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna fucking happen. And I think I told y'all that. Dude was just there was so many things about him being older. And it was just turning me the fuck off. Turning me the fuck off. And he was like narcoleptic or whatever the fuck is. Couple of minutes, the way he was breathing and shit, I was like, oh no. Lawyer, no lawyer, money, no money. Fuck that. He had a little belly. I was like, oh no. He was moving too slow, too fucking relaxed. He like he had no energy. I was like, oh hell no. Fuck no. I was 25. I think he was like, what, 45, 50? His name is Ernie. Out of all names, Ernie. But he was sweet as he could be, but he was so soft to me. It came across to me as feminine because he just wasn't older doesn't come across as masculine always. Not always. It can, but like that coach Greg Adams, he comes across to me as older and masculine. But sometimes it doesn't. And dude was just kind of like I said, he's catfish. He sent me a picture of him as a boxer when he was younger. Nigga, he don't look nothing like that no more. Nothing. So anyway, I am so struggling with my coffee. You said I seen the chicks in Atlanta. Hold up. But I couldn't date them. I got married at 23. Okay. Somebody snatched you up. Somebody snatched you up, B-Dub. I can dig it. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people who are gonna be married, that shit happens young. And that's one of the things I said I want to debate BGS on. I want to debate, I showed it to him already. I want to debate BGS on what he's teaching. Because in the whole entire fucking world, if you look at my community tab, most people are approaching or already married by 30 across the whole world, including the United States. And that, I'm not saying everybody want to be married. For those who want to be married, and all these dudes, I'm conservative. I want to be married. There's no wives. This is the argument that I'm having a problem with. It's defying all logic. Okay. So yeah, like we do, that makes sense to me. You got married at 23, and I'm looking at the trend. There's Mahogany Roots. She got married in her early 20s. Okay. Then there's Creative Solutions. Talking to her the other day, she got married in her early 20s. I got married at 17. I got remarried at what, 20 something. Okay, 20 something. Before 30, clearly. We had to have a courtship, of course. You had to have a courtship. Um, who was the other person? It's another person. Queen Sunkiss. People who want to be fucking married, or at least try at it, they get married in their 20s. Like, who are we fucking kidding here? And BGS keep trying to sell these dudes, yeah, you're 50, just go for it. I say everybody needs companionship, no matter what age. You don't have to be married to have a companion. Fuck all that. Okay? I'm not no goddamn Puritan or somebody coming down on people making judgment. The issue I have is all these old ass niggas talking about how ain't no good women out here when they 50 years old plus and under that, and they're lying through their fucking teeth. And they got a whole bunch of people telling them these lies, and they keep carrying these lies. These are all lies. They don't make wives anymore. Lies. They're not out here. Yes, they are. You're approaching strangers. You're cold approaching strangers instead of meeting among your peers and creating social networks and fishing where you live. You on the internet trying to talk to fucking icons and shit. Y'all are doing all kind of fuck shit that don't got nothing to do with real life experience. And you get up here and tell these lies. So I'm challenging BGS to let's talk about why the whole world gets married by 30. Those who desire and want to be married. Let's talk about it. The statistics, because we love to talk about statistics and numbers. It's universal. The whole fucking world by 30 is getting fucking married, with the exception of three European countries. Okay, they're 33 to 35, but the rest of the world, they're by 30. Yeah, it's the those who want to be married are already married. So you gotta stop telling lies. That's my point. Sir Him says, why is it only black men that are being told to settle? You don't hear nobody saying that to white men, Asian men, or Latinos. Nobody's telling you to settle, Sir Him. I have just said this whole time that you have to do your job, which is to go and network and be a social human being who is gaining social skills. And when you gain those social skills, you will have, while you're networking and being in the world, having experiences, you will be so refined in your social skill set, you're going to attract the best mates. And you're going to meet them in those networks. Now, if you're not networking, you will settle. You'll have to. If you don't have social networks and you're just a gamer and you sit around by yourself all the time, you'll have to settle. If you just only use apps and cold approaching random people, you'll have to settle. And then we haven't even talked about family. Do y'all know family is one of the biggest ways to network and meet a spouse? You know how many in the Jewish community, in the Muslim community? Oh, I have a daughter. You have a nice son. They should meet. You understand? So what's your family business about? Are your families interested in you? You should have aunties and mamas that, since you marriage material, they say, hey, mama and aunties and grandmamas should be looking. And the good church ladies should be saying, hey, he's a nice young man I know. They should be preferring women to you, particularly if you live in the South. You should get references from family members. You know, that's a real thing. That's what happens to a lot of people in different ethnic groups. I had one student, adult student, and she told me that her father's friend's friend is who she's married to. I said, what the fuck is this? She had a fucking quinceañera, man. She had a goddamn quinceañera, and her dad's friend invited somebody in his fucking network, and he came up to the dad at the quinceañera. He said, I'm interested in your daughter. I said, you 15. She said, well, that's my coach. I said, oh, shit. So I didn't know that, y'all. I didn't fucking know that. That a quinceañera can be a place where somebody can say, hey, I got intentions. I can't act on it, but I got intentions. You know? Who knew? Who fucking knew? Who fucking knew? I'm not promoting that. I'm just telling you what my students told me. So my point was that there are family networks. That was my point of saying this. There are family networks. People meet people through their family. What kind of family do you come from? Your family don't know no nice people? Ain't no nice young women out here associated with your family? I'm not blaming. I'm just saying. We got to take some personal accountability here. Before we say, ain't no good women. They don't make wives no more. It's all washed up. These bitches evil. They crazy. All these Keishas, everybody in the world. You need to ignore Keisha. If you're not ignoring Keisha, that's your fault. If you're trying to convert Keisha, that's your fault. It's your fucking fault. If you settling, you created conditions that made you have to settle. Your ass is too old. You don't have social skills. I'm just saying, motherfuckers don't want to tell y'all the truth because they don't have no experience out here. I got some experience, not a whole ton, but I got enough. I got more experience as a married woman than anything. I have more experience in long-term relationships and learning how to have balance. And y'all listen, the social skills are necessary because guess what? You can get somebody. See, somebody could be good looking. Y'all have seen that? I got a friend who's an attorney, my dear friend. He's beautiful. And he told me his problem is he got all these women in Atlanta. He like, May, they booty beat it, they did that, that. He was like, they got all this shit going on. He's like, but some of them, he said, they ain't got no soul. That's what he told me. He said, they ain't got no soul, they ain't got no personality, some of these women. They look good on paper. He's like, but they don't got, he's like, I feel nothing. When I deal with them, I feel nothing. He's trying to connect. No, try. He's got somebody now. Not a wife, long-term relationship, and a kid. And I think for him that was settling because he wanted a wife. But he couldn't really seem to find, and clearly the woman that he's with, they're not connecting. Not deep, deep, deep. But then again, maybe women don't demand enough. Maybe they don't want enough. 'Cause I got somebody in my family, they got a kid living together and they not married. I think they don't connect. I think women don't expect more. That's my guess. Um, I'm just talking, and it got to 12:30. Lord have mercy, help me, Jesus. Ambassador says most of the issues people have with BGS is they don't support that he is not concerned about the sales and marketing side of marriage. He reads the material and says this is what he has experienced. He hasn't experienced anything that much. He hasn't experienced anything that much, and that's the issue. You can you can you can you can look at celebrity. That's why y'all all use celebrities because y'all don't. A lot of y'all collectively don't have a lot of experiences. I mean, what can you really experience except to go live? You know what I'm saying? You don't need all that shit. Go live. Go meet people. Go hang out. Go do you and learn along the way that you always supposed to look out for your own best interest, male or female. That's it. Live life. Because the older you get, the more you start thinking. Y'all gotta understand that. You start thinking. You start processing. You start looking at statistics. You become a robot. You're not fun. You're not exciting. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like chaos, rain, if I was a woman, 20, 30 his age, I would never go out with him. Game changer, never. No fucking way. They don't come across as fun, exciting. They come across like they just got a lot of problems. Nobody's attracted to that. Chaos acts like an old ass man. Game changer acts old as fuck. He act like he's 90 years old. You got to understand, y'all take your youth out of yourself. You understand? I didn't say you got to be stupid, but the youthfulness, the attractiveness, the fun part, the thrilling part, the adventurous, the good shit, the positivity. Y'all are sucking that shit out of yourselves so quickly with all these stats and worries and oh and this and that. Da, da, da. Y'all don't understand how you're being drained. You're draining yourself. I'm just telling you. Don't look fun. Don't Nothing young is gonna be attracted to that energy. Nobody young, nobody fun. And we have a tendency to do that. We want somebody to be a certain way, to be exciting, to be youthful, to be fun, to be cool, to be chill. Are we cool? Are we chill? Are we exciting? Are we young? Are we youthful? Are we vibrant? Like that dude that I told y'all that I had dated online Canada and met him in person finally. Met him in person, his energy was so trash. He looked dried up. He looked tired. He felt heavy to me. He did not excite me. His energy was stale as fuck. And it was just only that. Because on paper, everything else you're a lawyer, you got this, you got that, you live in downtown Toronto, you know, You got all this shit going on. Graduated from the best schools, da da da. All of that looked good. But that motherfucker was old and stale, tired. He'd been alone too long. He was boring as fuck. So that's something y'all got to think about. While you do all that conjecture and guessing and thinking and strategizing and charting and graphing and memorizing stats, you're getting old. You're getting boring. You're getting undesirable. I'm just telling y'all. And it becomes fucking baggage. I can see it from the outside. I ain't y'all some of y'all's age, but I can see from the outside, y'all are drying the whole fuck up. The more you worry, the more you concern, instead of get out here and live and be fun. You need to get your youth back. A lot of y'all, that's what they don't tell you. Get your motherfucking youth back. And you'll be surprised how attractive you become. A lot of y'all have become stale and stagnant. And that's why I say it's spoiled milk. I can smell it. I can fucking see it as a woman. But y'all are talking to men who can't see it. Men can't measure. Women can. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just telling you. A lot of y'all niggas is coming across like you're old as fuck. Like you're crusty dusty. I'm just saying. Your energy is old. I tell you what, don't listen to me. Y'all take y'all ass around some younger women. Go around some 30, some 27, some 32, 35. Go around them and see how they vibe with you. Go see. Don't listen to my 47-year-old ass, okay? Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Like BJ said, you trying to be mama. I ain't trying to be mama. I'm telling you as a woman, I got instincts. And even just through the internet, a lot of y'all come across as old and stale. And I can tell you in person, that shit is not gonna ride. People like just like I said, when I met my husband, I was excited. I was enthusiastic. I had enthusiasm. Everything he did excited me. Do you bring that out in women? Is there something intriguing and mysterious and sexy about you? Do you have a youthful energy? My husband was cool, but it was something youthful. That's why when he first started talking about, yeah, I travel, I said, oh shit, this nigga like to get up and get out. He got energy. That's what women hear, energy. He got energy. He got energy. That shit's exciting. Man, I done damn jumped them volcanoes with this nigga off waterfall. We done did all kind of shit, okay? We kissed at the top of the Burj Khalifa. We stand up with plateaus in Utah, sand duning in Dubai, surfboarding in Hawaii, Waikiki. You understand? I got excited about his youth. I got excited about his vibrant energy. What can we do together? What can I explore with you? We gonna have fun, nigga. Just take my hand. Let's be together. Let's go, 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 go. I'm serious. I'm so serious. You gotta be youthful. You got to be fun and attractive and positive. Women will come. But when you stale and dry, you keep talking about bullshit that you ain't experienced and doom that ain't happened yet, man, you drying up. You drying up. I'm telling you. I ain't lying. Y'all drying the fuck up and you don't even see it. Don't take my old ass word for it. Go test that shit on some younger women. Go test it. If you got any kind of game, you should be able to test it. Look at their body language. You know what I'm saying? Women got body language. That's one thing about it. We cannot hide our body language. And I always keep resting bitch face because I'm married. I keep resting bitch face all the time. But I have had times when I come across very, very attractive black men. I be looking. I be like, ooh. And my body language is telling me if he was watching me from a distance, whether I wanted to or not. You understand? Women cannot hide body language. So go test your shit and see, do you come across as vibrant and young and youthful and attractive and positive. See if the opposite sex finds you, your peers, finds you attractive. Don't go, your ass is 50 going around no damn 19-year-old, you gonna fail. Okay? Don't do that. They be like that grandpa over there, ignore him, you know? And that's how it is when you got an age gap of 20 years plus, they don't see you. They don't want to tell y'all that either. They don't see you. Okay, let me read this. I say I'm gonna get my ass off here because I'm just doing the most. I'm doing the most, y'all. Forgive me. Forgive me. I'm doing the most today. I guess I just wanted to run my mouth. That's what women do sometimes. We babble and rabble. Mm. Okay, let me read these comments. I'm gonna get off of here. I think it's interesting. You get to get a sense of people's personality. I get a sense of Sir Him's personality, Ambassador too, and V Dub. I definitely I watch your content a lot, so I get your personality. Why is it okay? Yeah, let me go back. Most of the issues people have. Okay, where I read that. Nah, I'm married. I have been married. Most husbands are not involved in the daily decision making of their house. I can go to parties, dance, and socialize, but it doesn't change that reality. You're married, Ambassador. You're married. Hmm. How long? You said not involved in the day-to-day decision making of their house. I don't know what you mean. Hmm. That's interesting. You said you go to parties and dance and socialize, but it doesn't change the reality. But also, there's something anti-intellectual about what you are saying. I don't engage in high-level problem solving in my day-to-day life, but I can do it and go be useful. I don't even know why you hang out in that shit about the angst of, the doom and gloom. Maybe you're there for intellectual purposes, not relationship. If you're married, that's my guess. Because BGS's assumption is that I think that I'm not sure. Let me just not say that. I will say that maybe my assumption is that some of the guys who are there who are married are miserable. I'm not sure if he spoke to that or not, so I just won't say it. But I think that it may be a cope. Men who are married who hang out in the red pill spaces. Because I mean, it's overwhelmingly about women. You know what I mean? Overwhelmingly. Maybe not BGS so much. He talks about other stuff. I find his stuff interesting. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh, he ain't talking about nothing else. He has other things he talks about. But between him and Sergeant Willie Pete, when they start talking about women, they make me throw up in my mouth. They really do. They make me throw up in my mouth because they get it all wrong. They got it all wrong. And they don't have enough experience to like make it right. So they use charts and graphs and other weird shit and random ass fucking books from the 1960s to try to explain everything. Experience is everything. Get your motherfucking young ass out here and stop talking about it. Be about it. Do it. And get fucking married if you want to be married. It's just that simple. And don't be dumb. Basic principles. Act like it's a business. But protect yourself like you would for a business. And what else? What else? I mean, what else is there to know? God damn. Just talking till you get to be talk. You talk the fucking life out yourself. You chart and graph and statisticize the goddamn life out yourself. I'm telling you, like, just test the shit out. Go be around some peers and see do they find y'all attractive the way y'all carry on. I can tell y'all right now. I think Game Changer must look like a whole fucking dragon. His whole personality, his lack of social skills. I think that nigga looks like a whole fucking dragon. Because your outside will start to be like your inside eventually. That's what's gonna manifest. Your outside, your outer self will be manifested as your inside. That's just the truth. You will transform. I know this to be a fact. I went to Agnes Scott College and there was a black girl, and I won't say her right. Yeah. I won't say too much. But she started out regular size, typical. And she met this other girl. She was somewhat feminine or whatever, but I guess being away from her parents, she turned into a full blown black lesbian. She transformed. She went from just looking like a regular black chick, and by the time we graduated, I swear to God, she looked like she was a Falcons linebacker. She was in a relationship with this other lesbian black girl. That girl's supposed to be the female. She's supposed to be the male. I swear before God. You know how they had a what's that guy? Goddamn. Oh man. She just looked like a football player. That's what I'm trying to say. Her whole back swole up. Wide. She looked like a fucking football player. Not just fat. She took on a masculine frame, literally. So I seen the shit. Your outside will reflect the inside. I stand by that. Let me read this and then I'm gonna go. You know what, Ambassador? I think sometimes you just want to be you want to be I sometimes think you just want to be contrary, me being a woman and all. My girl has RBF, but not around me. What's RBF? Ooh, free. I don't know what that is. What's RBF? Beat up. She's a whole teddy bear around me. My girl has RBF. I don't know what RBF is. Um, you ever cry after your man hit it? Cause you felt that good? Just asking. Is that what RBF is? Seek your level of comfort, not what the media tells you to do. I am so curious about this fucking RBF. RBF. Cry after your man because yeah, yeah, yeah. I do on some level think that there is a dangerous place. Um, my ex-boyfriend, I would say I was sexually enslaved by him. I would say that. I was sexually enslaved by him. That's a very, very dangerous place to be. When you get to the point where somebody's sexuality, it dominates everything. It's the most important thing. Woo, I don't never. I said then, I said I don't never want no dick like that the rest of my life. I don't never want no dick like that the rest of my life. It would ruin your life. It would ruin your life. If it's a man, if it's a woman, it would ruin your life. You don't want that. Don't ever, ever, ever open yourself up to sexual enslavement. That shit. They say people, what they say, your nose is wide open. Woo. I had some folk in my family had to tell me that. They said you do realize. I said no, not me. Shit, I don't never want no dick like that the rest of my life. I think after that situation, I put up boundaries because there's such a thing called um, Kundalini. I don't bring that shit here, but Kundalini, it opens up levels and vibrations, and there's a certain amount of vulnerability, and I think I closed that shit down after that relationship. That level of sexual, spiritual, psychosexual, spiritual openness, I shut that shit down because in the wrong hands, boy, somebody can do anything to you if they get you like that. They can do anything. RBF. You're gonna make me Google this shit. Let me look. She's a teddy bear. Seek your level. Okay, Ambassador said, I actually just got a panel full of married men that believe a man getting involved in the day-to-day routine of their kids is implying my wife is incompetent. The husband's space is wild. Yeah, I would wonder what the husband's job or goal he thinks or his role in the relationship is. I think a lot of stuff like, which doctor to choose, what we're going to do at the PTA, all of that day to day stuff is absolutely my competence in my role as a mother, you know. But my husband has a competent role as a father. And so his role and my role is different. So are you saying those men are putting their role off onto the women? That's a different, interesting conversation. But yeah, space is a while. Rest in bitch face. Yeah. Oh, hold up. Let me see. Let me read that again. You said my girl has a resting bitch face, but not around me. She's a whole teddy bear. Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. You're gonna turn her into a slave. Kunda, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, see, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it, B-Dub. Cause see, the thing is, let me tell you how that go. Let me tell you how that go. When you start meddling, and it almost gets into sex magic. You don't mean to, but you start going in that realm. That psychosexual connection. That shit can get so deep. Listen, V-Dub, I'm telling you what I know. You can become her slave. She can become your slave. She can do anything to you. You can do anything to her. It's going to be one or the other, not both. Right? And the other person dominates and gets all the power. Or it could be a situation, for example, if the person could get obsessed about you, get paranoid about you, get jealous about you. You understand? That shit can manifest a lot of different ways. And then they become, you know, extremely vulnerable. And then it becomes maybe nobody else can fulfill this desire, this need, only you. You're the only one on the planet. Woo, baby. It could go a lot of different ways. It's psychosexual emotional, you know? That shit can go a lot of different ways. And then the thing, this is the dangerous part. This is the most dangerous part. If you want to end the relationship, you got to escape. You hear me, V-Dub? And I bet that don't sound new to you. If you want to end the relationship, you have to do it as a form of escape. I bet that don't sound new to you. Put that shit up, V-Dub. Get off the internet and put that shit up. When I say put that shit up, you know what part of you I'm talking about. Put that shit up. You're going to cause trouble for yourself. I promise you. You're going to cause trouble for yourself now. Yeah, Kundalini, yeah. You know something about that shit, V-Dub. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to escape. If that psychosexual, physical, emotional connection gets real strong, you have to escape the person. That's the truth. It can be a lot. I don't never want no dick like that the rest of my life. I don't. Not never. I'm good. There's a euphoria, right? Yeah. No, let me just leave it alone. Let me drug. You understand? Addiction. Leave it alone. Don't ever. No. Mediocre is better. Good is fine. Excellent is good. But don't go down that road. It opens up all kind of levels you're not prepared for. Okay? I'm speaking from experience. I was literally a sex slave. Not literally, like for real, but enslaved through sexual. Yeah, you gotta. Woo. Let me move on because I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous talking about it. I don't want to revisit that. May honest question: what is it like being a geriatric in a geriatric marriage? You know, being old and married. Okay, Sir Him. It sounds to me like you want to troll, asshole. I am not geriatric, nigga. I am 47 years old. Is that geriatric to you? I cannot join AARP. I cannot get a Social Security check. I am not yet 50. Is that geriatric to you? 47 is geriatric. And if, Sir Him, you think geriatric is old, then I question how old you are. What are you, 17? 18? How old are you, Sir Him? With your smart ass mouth. You're going to get cussed out today. I got energy. Don't play. Okay? I got energy. Don't play. And you know I'm a troll. Don't do it. Don't make me do it. Don't do it. No, but being married, I didn't get married old, okay? Like your ass would have to, okay? If at all. I got married second round. We talking about second round in my 20s, sir, when both our heads were black, black hair, Okay, fully in our youth. Got married in my 20s, sir, before 30. You got that? So ain't no geriatric marriage here. What happens is people who are actually functional, they maintain the relationship. The two people who are functional. You understand? And they get along and they grow old together. They grow older together. Me and my husband have grown older together. I have watched him change. He has watched me change. He's watched me get better. I've watched him evolve and become better. I've watched him become more wise. I've watched him gain more skills. It's been a good fucking thing. It's a beautiful thing when you support each other and you get better together. We get better together. Me and my husband managed to help each other retire early, you know? We took our youthful energy and we used it well. So ain't nothing but look, I always tell people it gets greater later. So you can cut it out with your fucking geriatric jokes. Let me see you at 47, see you on where I'm at. How about that? Talk smart. You wanna talk smart to me, I'll cuss you out. We done I already know. I know you know. I understand the arts exactly. This is balanced. I give her freedom of expression and connection. I've learned my lesson. I never felt that way about anyone. You never felt woo, you never felt sexually dominated, like ooh, like an addiction. Not like you got a not like a personal daily addiction, but this person, this particular way that you get down sexually, this can't happen with anybody else, and this is it's a euphoria. Shh, girl. He said, no, my lady asked me to do it. She said, go get paid on TikTok for this game. You being honest. Um, these lames don't know a woman's body. Know the mind, know the body. She's your yeah, yeah. If yeah, I think men can master because people always think that men are dominated by women sexually. That's what a lot of people think. Um, and I think that's more like what we see as thirst. I think men are in a better position actually to dominate women sexually, emotionally, and otherwise. It's a certain combination of emotional, social, sexual, psychological. There's a combination there that if it's a certain kind of way, yeah, it can and you're living together, that shit can yeah, for both people. Both people can become I don't want to say codependent because that's not actually what it is. It's very specific. Codependency can happen with anybody. It's a specific individualized codependency. And maybe one will dominate the other. Maybe one person, the person who sexually dominates is probably feeding off the other person emotionally. But I feel like the person who's sexually dominated is at a disadvantage. You can just I put it this way, I call it fuck you stupid. The person literally fucks you stupid. You're dumb. Your brain is not fucking operating. I don't know. It's some dangerous shit, man. That's all I can tell you. That's some dangerous shit. I don't never want no dick like that the rest of my life. Okay. My husband is an excellent lover, but I don't open myself up like that. So I would never explore that way, that I was just too young. I didn't have any blinders up. Not any blinders. I didn't have any stop, any yield, you know. The more he opened me up in certain ways, I was just going with the flow, you know. And I never put any like, stop, no, we're good. Only love this much. Only, I wasn't putting up anything. Before I knew it, it was kind of like I was just swooped up into, I don't know. It's not even, I don't like the word codependency. It's not that. It's something deeper than codependency. You are the source of. You are the source of. It almost can become a form of worship. I put it that way. And that's when you endanger territory. The sexual, that's why I said enslavement. Because it's almost like the sexual charge you get from this person. It makes you almost worship them, not because they're morality or some shit like that, but it's the source of your euphoria. Don't let That's it. That's it. I got it. I got it. I got it, B-Dub. This person becomes your source of the euphoria. They have the euphoria. It is in them. They contain it, and only they are the source. That's the problem. That is the problem right there. He said, "Y'all know, we know, y'all holding back, right? Right, right. But you learn that to protect yourself. You learn to hold back to protect yourself. I stopped desiring the euphoria. You know what I'm saying? That's how I hold back. I stopped desiring that deep, deep, deep. Anything can happen to me. I'm in your hands and your arms with no guardrails. Nobody will ever get that again. And it came through me. I'm a very sexual person. So that came through sexual for me. I'm a very sexual person. I'm a pervert, honestly. And so, believe it or not, I'm a straight pervert. So sexual is the easiest route to my vulnerability, my weakness. That's sexual. Sexuality is my weakness. I put it that way. That's my weakness. So this person was able to tap into my most vulnerable, weakest part of me. Most women is not, I don't think, sexuality. Most women is emotional. It's emotional or psychological. That's most women's weakness. So I think I'm an anomaly in that way. And I'm just gonna say it. I mean, I know that to be true for me because I was a chronic masturbator when I was uh, 7, 8 years old. Chronic masturbator. I didn't even know what to call that. You know what I'm saying? I was busting them off at a very young age. That was naturally inclined. And I've been that way my whole life. You know, I've been that way my whole life. And I was about to do something stupid, but I regret it, so I ain't gonna say it. I'm not gonna go. I need to get my ass off here. Because the longer I talk, the crazier I get. Let me go. Well, I'll do it. Fuck it. What do I care? Listen, I don't go far. Okay, you understand from from the source. Okay, because I have to keep myself together to act right. Anyway, let me see. Holding back shows a lack of submission. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I choose that, V Dub. I choose that for my own balance. You said so 20 years together and only one kid. May you need to have at least two. Sir, him, I'm 47. You don't know my story. I didn't told the damn. I partied instead of having kids. I already told the story. I partied and traveled instead of having kids. Me and my husband was having fun time. And so we got one kid out of all these years. That's right. And I'm lucky for that. May you still lie. Yeah, girl. Hey, hey, creative. Yeah, I'm running. I don't know I'm on one today. I got a lot of energy. I probably need to go take my fat ass and go walk a trail or something. I got a lot of fucking energy, don't I? I said, okay, so you know what it is? It's probably because I got to do this anytime. This is my ADHD too. I'm enjoying talking to y'all. That's part of it. But anytime I got to do something I never did before, I be procrastinating like a motherfucker. That's my ADHD. If I knew how to do this ink shit, I'd have probably been off here. But I got all this ink and rubber gloves and bullshit sitting here, and I'm probably overwhelmed because I don't know how to open this ink cartridge, and it's going to be a learning curve. And I'm not going to be able to focus. I'm going to have to probably get my husband to do it. And I think that having to ask him to do it instead of me able to figure it out, that's probably why I'm just procrastinating. I'm in rare form today, goddamn. You said that will Um, you said that will desensitize you. What will desensitize me? How did you know to do that at that age? That's what I told you that woo, that was natural. I was a naturally sexual person. I was I well, I'll tell you what triggered it a little bit. I used to watch General Hospital after school and Loving and Falcon Crest and stuff like that. Not Falcon Crest, Loving, Ryan's Hope, and they always had those sex scenes. And I would be sitting there watching them sex scenes. And y'all know that was in the 80s, so the sex scenes wasn't all that. And another thing too is I used to watch USA Up All Night, and they have all them movies, like frat party stuff. And it's like I was a pervert because I was waiting for some nakedness and some perversion. And that's the type of shit I used to get off on. I ain't gonna lie. I was like that since I was young. I don't think that's strange. Yeah, I can see your messages. I'm just going slow. Creator said you funny. I don't know if I'm. I don't know what part, but okay. Let me hurry up and read these messages. No, it's not because you're a woman. I intend to be contrary to find the boundaries of your intellectual curiosity. Once I find it, I respect that boundary. It is a way of maintaining peace. Okay, Ambassador, I got you. Trimming the bushes. Hubby must be on the way home. Trimming the bushes, eh? Hubby must be on the way home. My husband is downstairs somewhere. When I'm upstairs and I got this door closed, I don't know what the fuck going on down there. I have no idea. I'm so far away. I don't know where he's at. You talking about trimming the bushes? What the fuck does that mean, trimming the bushes? You sir him, I'm gonna have to watch you be talking shit. My lady tried to hold back and resist to some things, but I'm too good. I know the buttons to hit. Well, a person has to be willing. I have to say that. I have one, maybe I will have three or four more. Ah, creative. Yeah, talking about kids. Yes, I see your messages, Woo. I got you. Yes, Woo. I'm responding. I'm just slow. We see you, Woo. Okay, thank you. A master bee, not surprised. A master bee, not surprised. What does that mean, Chaos? Yeah, I'm a masturbator. Yeah. Anybody who said they don't, you're lying. Y'all not honest. I blossomed late. I didn't start liking boys until like the 8th grade, going into high school. 8th grade. Yeah, I don't think that's blossoming late. I don't think that's blossoming late. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Middle school. That sounds about right. Yeah. I didn't say romance and opposite sex. I said perversion. You don't take nobody to be around. It wasn't connected to masculine or male. It was perversion. Y'all know them scenes on General Hospital where they'll be kissing and shit, and then he'll be like pulling on her hair, and he pulls her neck to the side. Y'all remember them stories? And he'll kiss on her neck, and then he'll start going down her chest. That shit was damn near X-rated to me as a young kid. And then they would show a scene with her back, and then like the outfit she had would fall off her shoulders. They didn't show the titties. They didn't show none of that. And then you would just see them two falling on the bed. I'd be like, oh, oh, I bust one off just like that. Ah, simple shit like that. That would do it for me, you know? Or they have the scene, like when they come back to the scene, the two of them be laying in bed talking. He'll have his arm prepped up on the pillow, and she'll be laying there with the covers crossing across her chest. And you can see the little split where her titties are. And he started rubbing her arm and shit. I was picking up on everything. I was like, ooh, I didn't even have the word sexy. I was like, ooh, you know? I was a pervert. I don't know what to tell you. Um, sorry, you talking shit. You talking shit. You need to take notes, nigga. I'm trying to help you. He talking about some May chill. Not the time for Gen X after dark. I'm chilling. I ain't gonna say much. I didn't say it too much. I'm probably gonna put this shit on what you call them? Put this shit on I'm gonna put this shit on non watch or some shit. Whatever they call that. Some Star Elementary. Yeah, Some Star Elementary. He said I read Maxim magazine. Ah, okay. So you read Maxim magazine. Yeah, man. I didn't have a lot of perversion available to me. They didn't have the internet back then. You know, they didn't have that. Oh, one of the things they had was on the. If your parents had, what is it called? If your parents had cable. I learned that you could get in between the two cable channels, and you could see a little something on the Max late night. You could see a little something because they had stuff like soft porn on late night, and you if you wasn't subscribed to it, between the little gray on the screen moving up and down, you could watch some shit. So I used to sit my little perverted ass there and watch what I could. But you just turn on the volume down because it go shh. You know when the channel don't work, it'll go shh. Wasn't that annoying? That the old TVs used to go shh. You know if the channel wasn't working, that was dumb. Why couldn't it just be quiet? I don't know. Anyway, y'all, I have talked crazy, but yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. Well, I don't know that we as women necessarily get the permission to be sexual. We mostly hear people say, "Stop being fast. Don't do this. Don't do that." People constantly trying to correct little girl. Don't be around them little boys. Don't do this. We get a lot of pushback. And I got that, of course. You know, I got that too. And you got religion and stuff. People always warning you, better not get pregnant, all kind of shit. So women don't necessarily get permission to be sexual people. And I think that may have been part of my attraction to Islam was some kind of sexual control of myself, the idea of that. And I mean, the nature of people or the nature of a person is the nature of a person. And only thing that happened was I end up being who I fucking am. I end up being who I am. I'm a whole sex demon. I end up being who I am in the long run. You cannot hide from yourself. Know thyself. You cannot run from yourself. You can't suppress who you are. You know. I have a wild spirit. It will not be tamed. I mean, that's kind of the nature of me. And I have to learn to balance it. But to shut it down and hide it, impossible. Fucking impossible. Maxim taught men how to please women. As above, so below. Indeed, indeed. I'm gonna start calling you V-Dub the Alchemist. Cause your ass is on some other shit. Um, or the shifter. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And so I think you gotta flow. You gotta be comfortable with yourself. You gotta flow within yourself. And you gotta balance yourself out as a person. And I think that's for me. That's why I had to cut. I had to shorten my openness sexually when it comes to men. I had to do that. Even in marriage, I had to find a balance where I don't completely lose myself. I've had to explore those boundaries. Yeah, I could say I've. That's why I think me and my husband have a moderate BDSM relationship. I explore it to an extent within safe boundaries. That's what I'm gonna say. That's part of it. There's safe boundaries there. Safe boundaries. So there's that part, and it's ongoing. It's not stop, stop, start, stop, start, stop. It's a continuous give take relationship, and I don't know. It's not necessarily. It's had its phases. It's had its phases because it's all about power and control, domination and submission. So it's got boundaries on it, and I think that's good. It hadn't always had boundaries on it, um, but we had to learn to balance things to have that. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I've never lost myself. I'm always in control of my emotions. He said I'm shadow banned for a reason. You're a trip, V-Dub. You're a trip. Woo, she said, I've never lost myself. I'm always in control of my emotions. Do you think that's a good thing or bad thing? Or you woo, or are you curious about it? You said you never lost yourself. I'm always in control of my emotions. Have you ever had any desire to lose yourself? Or is that too dangerous? And do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing to have never lost yourself emotionally? I'm curious. I think some things are like thrilling. Um, Giving over power, control to another person, it can be thrilling, you know. But everything has that. Everything has to have its balance. Everything must have its balance because if not, you're gonna have to escape. Right, B Dub? We speaking from experience. I've had women cry and tell me deep secrets on the first date. You said it has pros and it has cons. Yeah, it has pros and it has cons. I never lost myself. I'm always in control of my emotions. It has pros and cons. Yeah, well, I think when we were talking earlier, it's just the emotional part. But we were talking about I'm not sure if that's what you intend to talk about, but in reference to the conversation before, we were talking about the psychosexual, social, emotional. There's like this whole thing, and particularly the sexual, because that aspect is a avenue. That's an avenue that someone can dominate or manipulate or control, and it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but that sexual avenue can be a very strong avenue to owning a person. I don't know, I feel strange having these conversations in the middle of the day, but I think that there's not a lot of safe spaces or places unless people go to like tantric workshops or they go to like kundalini or some shit, you know, workshops. People really don't have the space to talk about um, the energy of power, sexual power. Not the details, not the porn or the pornographic shit. Just the energy and the power of sexual energy and dominance. We don't nobody gets to talk about shit like that. But that's part of like when people say I fell in love, there's a part of that. A lot of people mistake that initial exploration and surrender. They mistake that for love and all kind of other shit. And sometimes all it is they're extremely fucking open. They're extremely fucking open. They're exploring sexually with a new person. You know, a lot of that is that yeah, it's an avenue, and that's why it feels like euphoria. People say, I feel so high when they get into a relationship. They say it's a roller coaster. Yeah. You getting high, up and down, up and down, up and down. You getting high. You're feeding off each other's newness and the sexual exploration. You're open, you know, and you be high as a kite and you flying, flying, and then you kind of come down to the ground when people start getting real, right? And when the sexuality don't dominate everything and other elements come in, you got to get grounded then. That's why a lot of people's relationships don't last. Once I say the thrill is gone, the thrill is gone. You can't stay high. You can't get euphoria forever. And if you can, woo, baby, the bonds that you building, can they be broken? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Oh shit, I didn't miss something. Oh shit, let me go back. Woo. He said, I've had women cry and tell me deep secrets on the first date. Nobody's asking her the right questions. Oh, from outside looking in with people I know, it looks exciting, but I don't want that. Okay. You like safe. You like control. That makes sense to me. Okay, he's saying it. Wu is guarded for a reason. Whoever asked her why. She's guarded for a reason. Yeah, you said get a grip, we grown. Yeah, guarded is because you don't want to make mistakes. Guarded is because you don't want to be vulnerable. Guarded, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of good logical reasons to be guarded. And guarded is also speaking with your logical. You know what I'm saying? You operating from a place of logic, protection. It's logical. Everything wants to survive and thrive. Nobody wants to be vulnerable. It's dangerous to be vulnerable. People can take advantage of vulnerability. So I get it. You said when I have lost my control, like in a confrontational manner, I get violent. So in a love way, I would probably get myself into big trouble. So that's what I'm saying. You talking about you get emotional, there's attachment. Yeah, attachment. Attachment. Yeah. Attachment. Attachment is powerful. But why woo? Maybe it's a back chat question. Uh-oh. He said, I learned from my parents' divorce to have control because it was messy. Right. Self-preservation. Self-preservation. And that's the part about interconnectedness. You know, once somebody becomes, that's I was talking about, sexual, but once you connect to people and connect to another person, they become the source of something. And if that person no longer wants to be the source or they want to move away or go a different direction, well, where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? So the natural inclination for a lot of people is to say, well, I'm not going to ask anybody else to be the source. I'll be my own fucking source. I'll provide for me. I'll do for me. Do for self. I can trust me. I can guarantee. I can depend on me. That's the next thing, I guess. Said you're not your parents. I know. I like being practical. Yeah. Loyalty and love can be found if you choose it, attract it. Maybe they never let love work and their guard down and they fail. But if you choose free love, you will find it. Yeah, I don't know. V-Dub, in this practical world we live in, you have to be so careful. You know? You have to take the risk eventually, but you got to be so careful. He said, energy is a real thing, something to read or feel empathetically. Yeah, yeah. We need to have what's today? What's today? Today's Saturday? What's today? Saturday or Sunday? Today's Sunday. I done lost track. Sunday. Today's Sunday. It's a lazy Sunday for me. Today's Sunday. Okay, maybe I'll do a 2 hour stream, open panel. I'm not gonna talk because I ain't gonna talk much because I didn't say everything that need to be said on my end. I'll do an open panel maybe tonight around 8. I'll just do an open panel and we can discuss to trust, not to trust, to dive, not to dive, the risk of companionship. I think maybe that might be something. We'll see. Yes, Sunday. Y'all, I better get going. I still ain't did this damn ink. I appreciate y'all. And Chaos Rain, I want y'all, you and Sir Him, you talk some shit today. I won't forget it. I won't forget it. That geriatric marriage, I'm not gonna forget. That was a dig. I'm not gonna forget it. I just want you to know that. Oh, look, I got you, boo. I got you. You talking shit? Oh, you say you're off tomorrow? All right, y'all. I'm about to end in this live, and yeah, I'll see. I can't promise. I don't know, but I got to see how much stuff. I might be deep into my inventory at that point. I don't know, but I may do it. I may do it. All right. Appreciate y'all. Ashe.